Definitely gotta check
Yeah,
that
yeah.
out for sure. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, going live. Yo, what's up, folks? Welcome back to another podcast. This is episode 100, and you guys know who's on. I mean, it's on the screen. We got the great Thunder God in here.
What's going on,
Yeah,
guys? Thank you for having me.
Special shout out to him, man, for coming on. I believe this is the first time he's been interviewed by anyone in the space. So yeah, guys, got any questions at all? Of course, feel free to ask. I'm sure we have some questions of our own for him as well. So yeah, we definitely got to thank Thunder God for coming on, and yeah, for sure. What's going on, Steven? Thanks for coming in.
Sir.
But yeah,
BG in the house.
Yeah.
What's good, Snog?
Let's see what people ask. Momo the one, Thunder God. Yep, Thunder God's here, folks. He's in here.
Oh, Momo the go. I see that man everywhere. That man is Minato's #1 fan, but I still love him. I love him. Shout out to him.
But yeah, folks, hit the like button.
Bro.
Make sure to hit the like button. Of course, we got Thunder God on here himself. You guys have to show some love today. Let's see.
Sure.
Feel free to ask any questions, though, folks. We got Thunder God in here himself. So, but yeah, I have a question for you, Thunder God. Have you seen like the Boruto time skip designs? If you read Boruto.
Oh man, I've seen some. I love the Naruto one. I think it looks great.
Looks dope.
I think it absolutely looks phenomenal. I mean, my one thing, and this is always it, like Ikimoto's art style. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm. It's hard, right? Because then you think it's like all right, and then like Kishimoto comes out with the one shot. It looks like godly, and you're like, I can't go back now. Like it's like that 1X that I left and then come back. It's a whole thing. So I like it a lot. I definitely want to see it because Ikimoto is like I think he's very similar to Toriyama with how he like plays out fights and stuff like that. Like he has really good like action scenes. It's just the art itself I think is fine. I just don't I don't think it's like the greatest thing ever, obviously.
Yeah,
but I'm a big fan. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Naruto.
Fucking
doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same thing with like the illustration. I feel like Kishimoto is like the golden boy, and Ikimoto he's good, but he's not like I feel like he's just a step behind what Kishimoto is able to like put out. Especially I mean even now he hasn't lost a step with the Minato one shot. So I like it, but yeah, I'm in the same place. Like it's just not at that level though. It's not like Kishimoto level, So it's definitely
the one. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the time skip's gonna be good though. I'm really, I am liking a lot of what Boruto's doing right now.
Yeah,
like, I'm critical of the series. There's a bunch of stuff like I think they could do better, but I think it's gonna be absolutely amazing. Like, I'm excited to see what they do.
What did you think of the time skip when it happened? Like the chapter?
Oh man, it's just peak writing. I absolutely loved it. It was great. Like I can't sit here and pretend to not love it. What they were doing, I think it's great. I'm really interested to see. It's just gonna be such interesting stuff, and I know that I believe the anime is gonna show like Sasuke and Boruto like traveling around or something like that. I don't know if that's correct. Yeah. So it's just gonna be amazing, and obviously, I'm interested to see how they handle Sasuke at this portion of the stories because he's in a very interesting scenario. So I'm pretty excited. It's in a very uncertain place, which I really like.
Yeah, the way I look at it,
Naruto.
the way I look at it is we've talked about this before, but a big reason for this plot twist, I think, like as far as marketability, is before Boruto was looked at by most of the fandom as like the kid with the silver spoon in his mouth. I mean, his dad was Hokage, he was born as a prodigy, and now with this, it's like it's forcing him to have like the hardships that his father once had. Like he's basically a global terrorist. I mean, everyone believes he's the one that killed Naruto, and I think it's a very good writing decision.
Getting the Akatsuki treatment or the Sasuke rogue treatment.
So the way I look at it, it's like it's gonna force him to like have trials, which usually the fandom starts to respect a character once he like goes through stuff. He like comes out on top.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. I think it was really well done. The way they
I agree.
Decided to do that narrative like decision. I was like, all right. Before this, I was like, all right, now Boruto's all right. But when that happened, I was like, now there's some potential for this.
They're cooking now.
Exactly.
Let me ask you, what's your thoughts on Code? Because I know some people are pretty split on that.
Yeah.
The general of L's. Like, what do you think about?
I'm be honest, I'm not that far in Boruto. I am catching up and shit because I had a setback, which kind of stopped me from watching and getting caught up. But what I have heard is that he apparently takes a lot of L's. So
I think that I think that in general in Boruto, the villains are like more bland and dull in comparison to like Madara and Pain. I think the best villain in Boruto is I think the best villain by far in Boruto currently has been Ishiki. To be fair, I think he can even compete with like OG Naruto villains. But oh shit, sorry, there's a fucking plane here.
His energy's like up there with Madara shit.
Despite the lack of like lore for him as well, he's still a badass. You know,
he's absolutely fantastic. It's funny because I was interested. I'm personally a bigger fan of the Jigen monk design. Like I think that's like a little bit cooler than Ishiki himself.
I agree.
I felt that. Yeah.
Super, it's just like when he came out in like Storm Connections, I was like, oh, this is the main, no question.
yeah, exactly.
He looks absolutely phenomenal. I loved his energy, and I will say, I think it was a pretty balanced because you have him throttling Naruto and Sasuke, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then you also have the drawback where like fighting at that level basically depleted him, which kind of lets the story could progress because they pretty much jumped in when he's like under 10%. So I actually did like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I think it was a good balance.
Yeah, I agree completely. And the way I look at the new villains, especially like Ida, Damon, Code, I feel like they're not developed enough. Like they're this like I mean, literally Ida has a power called Omnipotent, which she used to do the plot twist. I think like she has all this power but lacks like the character development to show for it. So like the way most of the fandom looks at her is like, oh, she's powerful, but I really don't care about her. Like she's powerful, but
she seems mentally unstable as well.
They don't look at her the way they looked at Madara. Like Madara already had his lore like established, and like he was an established villain. So the way I look at it, it's like these guys are powerful. I mean, Damon is literally like Boruto himself said like it would take me lifetimes to catch up to you, but I don't care for Damon. He's just like some random kid that
I agree. I 100% agree. I'm not a fan of him. And it's something because I talked about this on stream, but it's like there's a bit of presentation to it too. Like fundamentally, if you told like a random Naruto fan who maybe isn't caught up that Damon's like folding every top tier from Naruto Shippuden, it's just gonna sit weird because he doesn't fit the part and his attitude. It's like just kind of this. How old is he? He looks sick.
Literally like literally like a tween, dude.
People say they're not a fan. I 100% get it. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I fully understand why you would think that. And it's a fair, it's a fair opinion to have.
Fair assessment,
let's see.
The fact that he's just like built, as like a cyborg and he's just powerful, it also kind of undermines the threat of Code, in my opinion, too, because at least in that perspective, he's a lot above something like Code still. So, but Code is interesting because of all the 10-tail clones that he has.
The way I look at it with Code and the 10-tails, I think there's going to be more than likely like an Konoha invasion of 10-tail clones in Code. That's what I'm predicting. I don't know if
horrible.
Yeah, and with no Sasuke and no Naruto, that might be a problem. Kawaki's present, Ida's present.
Yep.
I don't know how willing she's going to be to help. Damon's present. So that's going to be an interesting like altercation. I think it's going to happen more than likely. I'd say.
Is Naruto in the Daikoku-ten, like, is he affected by Ida's omnipotent spell as well?
It's not like confirmed. I would say not, unless it's like an interdimensional ability. There's nothing to confirm or deny that.
It seems like its own continuum.
I'm assuming not, but if it is like interdimensional, then Ida literally is like beyond 3D. Dude. Yeah, she's big beyond universal apparently. That's let's see the questions. Thunder God, where do you scale Gamabunta?
Oh my God! I know exactly who made that question to.
Say Steven.
It's Steven. I fucking hate Steven, bro.
Multi-continental level.
I'm not one of the people who's like I think he's above Shikaku. I mean that's just me. Like I think he can hold his own.
I agree.
I agree.
I've never been like the biggest on that. And just
he's Biju level for sure. But
that's at least like lower tail Biju, like a one tail.
Exactly.
He was able to hold down the 9 tails for a bit, and that was kind of impressive, So.
Kishimoto drawing Boruto would be a dream come true. I agree, man, for sure.
Oh man,
that would be, especially after this plot twist, that'd be amazing.
And the one shot looked amazing, bro. Like if he continues the illustration,
he hasn't lost a step, man. He hasn't lost a step.
He has not.
Do you guys think Timeskip Boruto is stronger than Baryon? I'm not gonna go that far yet.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm personally hoping they keep like Baron mode Naruto and like Ishiki the peak of the series, like in terms of strength. I'm hoping. I think that was the perfect power ceiling, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anything beyond that, it's like I get it, but then the result of that is that just these characters are going to be just way too strong to where you can't really like talk about them versus anybody anymore.
Yeah, it's like there's such a large discrepancy between them and like everyone else there is no like suspense and talking about it. I agree as well. I think that at least for the foreseeable future, Baryon mode and Ishiki should be the top of the helm. Besides, like obviously Shibai, I don't know what they're gonna do with Shibai. He's like apparently like the Otsuki god. He's like beyond 4D or whatever. But I do agree. Out of respect for the fandom in Naruto, they should keep them at least for the foreseeable future. They should keep those two at the top of like the hierarchy for now.
Well, it's basically because like Ishiki was relative to Baryon mode at like 10% power. Like if he was at full capacity, that's a ceiling.
That would have been a fight. That would have been a fight right there. Yeah. I think that honestly, this is what I said. We've talked about this before. I said that I wouldn't have mind if Naruto died after Baryon. I think it would have been an honorable death. Like obviously, it would be suck not having him anymore. But I don't want him to just become like I don't.
That's what Kurama like apparently hinted from.
I don't want him to become like. I don't want him to just like fall to the wayside and be like fodder and sidelined. You know, like he kind of is now. He's sealed. You know.
Yeah, that's my problem with Sasuke. I'm not a fan of his representation in the manga. I think he just like I mean, you know, he does well against like Momoshiki and you know Kinshiki and all that. But after that fight, and you know Jigen I get because Naruto also got treated, but like. At least Naruto, before he lost Kurama, went out on a high note. Sasuke didn't even get that. He just got stomped out.
He just got stabbed.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah, dude.
There was no like
literally.
Yeah,
I've seen that man get fucking rid on like a goddamn surfboard on a fucking beach or some shit.
Oh
in a GIF, and I was like, what the fuck?
Bro.
It's crazy.
It was such
I don't know what they're gonna do with him in the time skip. If they're gonna have him be stronger, or what they're gonna do now that he's lost the Rinnegan. Like I don't know. I'm very interested to see how Kishimoto handles it. Yeah.
Go ahead. You're good.
No, go. No, I'm just literally gonna add to that. Yeah, go. You're
good.
Like
I don't know, like in like what Shinobi fucking said. I'm pretty sure he could have done this, but he could have used Izanagi.
Yeah,
and that could have been able to help to fucking trade out his EMS with his Rinnegan.
It doesn't. The way I looked at that like the event, the way I look at it, it was like the passing of the torch. Like all right, but Naruto and Sasuke were the top of the key. Naruto had like a reasonable nerf, and for Sasuke, like, all right, if Naruto goes down, we have to take Sasuke down a notch. But the way they did it though, the way they did it wasn't the best way. Like he gets stabbed in the fucking eye, and then like you know the way they contradict that is that right after he's still a threat to Boroshiki. He's like without an eye, and this is like 80% manifested. I'm like, how did Rene Sharingan Sasuke get blitzed by fucking Boroshiki when Boroshiki still sees him as a threat? Like what? I don't understand that.
It has to be, because if that is legitimate, then that blatantly has to be an off-guard moment. Then,
I mean,
absolutely,
and even that doesn't make sense because like he's reacted to Boroshiki right after. You know, it's just bizarre to me.
Exactly. It's weird as fuck.
But again, if you look at it like from a narrative standpoint, it seems that they're just trying to pass the torch. Like, all right, Sasuke and Naruto no longer the top guys. Now it's Boruto.
They kind of want to have him like as Kakashi characters, basically. Get him.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I think like he could just easily get some Naruto cells and get his eye back, perhaps.
Yeah. But $5 from Bustin Jeeber. So he spelled it backwards to see what he said.
Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate it.
Bustin.
He said, in your guys' opinion, who would win in a fight between Asura and Indra versus Sage's six-pass Naruto and Rinnegan Sasuke from the war arc? That's an interesting battle. If I had to break it down logically, I know Asura and Indra are inferior to their father more than likely, and their father states he's inferior to Kage. And Naruto and Rinnegan Sasuke are not Kage's level, I'll say that, but they compete enough. I mean, this is not like objectively true, but they compete enough to like conclude that they're in higher air than even Hagoromo. So I doubt Asura and Indra would be a six-pass level Naruto and Sasuke. That's what I would conclude, but again, there's no way to like quantify the discrepancy.
If I'm not mistaken, Asura was the one who received like part of his father's power. But Indra never received that, right?
Exactly.
If anything, there would be like more, logical reasoning for Sasuke to actually be stronger than Indra. But then again, Indra did take on. It's from what was shown, like ignoring anime canon stuff. Like it did seem that Indra was basically fighting as a one-man army versus like Asura and all his supporters and stuff like that. So maybe he really was just that strong with whatever Sharingan he has or Dojutsu. So it's just it kind of depends how you like interpret some of that lore stuff.
I agree. It's definitely like contentious. For Naruto and Sasuke, like the fact that they even competed with Kaguya, who's like with Hagoromo implying like, oh, she's beyond me. I needed my brother to beat him. To beat her. There's an argument for Asura and Indra though, because Indra even without the six-pass powers was like competing against Asura. Like that just shows how cracked he is. But that's a good that's a good matchup though. That is a good matchup for sure. Let's see what people asked.
Tobirama was like supposed to be like one-eyed Madara level, like relative at least.
That's when he started stating.
Tobirama,
that's when he stated like, yeah, he's catching up to me or some shit like that. Yeah. Do you guys think Boruto being monthly hurts Code's character by the time in between L's is so long? It feels like he should be getting away by now. Monthly releases. I think they approached Code wrong. I mean, a lot of the younger villains they approached wrong. Like they made him extremely powerful without any character development. It's like this like God shows up that you don't know about and you don't care about. That's the way I think that's how they approached him and Ida.
It feels. Yeah, it feels a little my fault. It feels a little disrespectful to Naruto Shippuden, and I'll say that. And I think a lot of fans like generally get that vibe. You know, it's really hard to connect with these characters. Like the villains in Naruto Shippuden, everybody loves because you connected with them, like on a fundamental level.
Exactly.
Even if they were absurdly strong, but then you have these, and I understand to a degree like what Boruto's trying to do because it's more so a representation of like our generation.
Yeah.
Or like younger, newer kids. But at the same time, you have to keep a balance and appease older fans who are the majority in reading this series. So it's like I think Boruto does fail at that a lot.
I agree.
Or it does. It's
an antagonist.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree completely. I think that like Thunder God said, like you have to establish like appeal emotionally before you can have like the viewer invested. They didn't do that with Code or Ida. Like Ida shows up, oh, I'm a cyborg that has omnipotence. Like okay, like I don't care, you know. But
like
Madara,
the anticipation for Madara.
Yeah, Madara. It was like from the beginning, Madara was
know.
being built up, and that was the difference between Madara and like Ida, like the lore establishing like events, like the talk, the legend behind them. Ida is just this robot that fucking Amato built, and all of a sudden she's brainwashed the whole world, like Infinite Tsukuyomi, basically, So it's
exactly
that's the biggest problem.
Page from DBZ, bro.
Yeah, yeah, literally androids.
I will say the androids, I was going to bring this up actually. Like they also did have the benefit of like Trunks hyping them up as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He just folds Frieza and he's like, these are androids from the future and whatnot. And you also have like Vegeta just slam, Android 19, Dr. Drogas. And then you see the actual androids come out and it's like, okay, it's a little different because at least, it makes a lot more sense. And then, you just kind of.
Yeah, exactly. You're right about that. The androids were certainly, even compared to Ida, even the androids in Dragon Ball were more hyped up. Like there was already more appeal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's definitely true. Like they should have at least done that or something. Like, I don't know. They dropped the ball a little bit on that, but it is what it is. I think the plot twist. The plot twist is definitely saving. The plot twist is definitely like reinvigorating some interest for sure. So yeah. Which I'm really happy for. So,
Wally Gill had a question for part 1.
Let's see. Anbu Itachi without his MS versus Kakashi in part 1. Without MS?
I think he slams Kakashi. That's just me though.
Even with a Sharingan, he's like slaughtering his clan. Yeah.
Like him and Obito were about that shit, and
probably
all up with Ritomo, and he was equal to Shishui with Ritomo.
Itachi, like I don't know how long after that he like folds Orochimaru without like even touching him and like cauterizes him.
Literally right after, he just beats up Asadi.
At most, I'd say that's like a year later. So I'd probably say Anbu Itachi, even with just a Sharingan. Yeah, part 1 Kakashi, yeah. If you're talking about War Kakashi, that's different.
Like say like Itachi, he's built there, and not only that, like we even see him in Akatsuki, where it's really not that much longer, and he comes to the village just only using 3 Tomo. He's just folding every Jonin, like they're all fodder to him.
Yeah. What do you think of Loco saying Sage Naruto beats Minato? Loco?
Oh wow.
So it's funny. I don't know if somebody else wants to answer this, but so I know I've collabed with Loco before. He's cool too, but I will say like I do disagree with like some of the stuff he said on Minato. I personally just like you guys like I cap out Minato at like KCM2 or like Kurama Link. Like that's just me.
Yeah.
A lot of like sports that I think anything past like if you want by all means like that's just me. I've never taken that Sage Mode. Like, I don't agree with that Sage Mode statement. I think it's simply in reference to Sage Mode mastery.
Agreed. Yeah. I agree completely.
Minato literally, like, he can, he's obviously a perfect Sage, but even he admits, like, he can't hold it that long. Like, it goes out.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree completely with that. Yeah, I agree that's exactly like the most rational inference that's being made by the Toad like master. He's like, he surpassed his predecessors. It has to be in reference to Sage Mode because Minato, after Naruto gets defeated by Pain and Nine-Tails emerges, even he doesn't see Pain as a threat. He's like, this is not the real bad guy. The real bad guy is the Orange Mask. You're gonna have to be. Yeah. He's basically implying like you're gonna have to tame the Nine-Tails itself to compete with Obito. So why would he not like be in awe of someone if if Sage Naruto were above Minato, he would be in all of it too. So
and not only that, like the worst part about it, they dead ass start making direct, like definitive references, not to fourth, but to Jonin Minato.
Yeah,
where like KCM Naruto is kind of standing around, you name it. And they have all that and whatnot. And then, like, even if, like, you, like, wanted to kind of keep Sage Mode, like, let's say for some weird reason we're doing that with Sage Mode, that's really not a problem in a sense either, because Sage Mode can technically keep up with KCM to a degree. Like, the fucking, it's stated to have, like, technically greater sensory and reaction and whatnot. And he's literally fighting as a fucking shadow clone against Raikage level speed opponent and shit.
Yeah, well,
so it's like Sage Mode isn't like, that's not like even the end of the world, but yeah, it's dishonest.
Yeah, Sage Mode is certainly inferior to KCM, because even Naruto when he's battling Edo Nagato and Itachi, he states like, I'm stronger now. Like he's literally he's stating like exactly. I'm stronger than I was then. And Nagato, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think even Nagato like he kind of notices that. He's like, oh, you're stronger than you were before. He's like, yeah, I got stronger.
Like one direct comparison for that too, Jay, to collaborate on that notion is the fact that, like, think of it this way: like Naruto does Sage Mode, he does thousands of clones, does like massive Raisengans, right? Then Naruto with just like a tiny bit of Nine Tails juice from Kurama against Madara does like fucking crazy amount of Shadow clones, maybe even more arguably, or around the same, and doing like big ass massive Raisengans against Madara's wood style and shit. Like just having a fraction of the Nine Tails power is ridiculous. And imagining like, full access with KCM, like
there isn't direct comparisons or parallels until KCM. That's when the Raikage is like, all right, the only guy that's ever outsped me was your dad, dude. And this is you. Like,
KCM was even acknowledged to even allow him to be able to beat Sasuke. Like not even Sage Mode was ever enough for him. Like it would allow him to fight Sasuke, but it wouldn't be enough to beat him.
Like, if you gather all like empirical evidence for both sides of the argument, you'll have much more empirical evidence for Minato being like superior. Yeah, exactly.
I only think Minato was so good at Sage Mode as an Edo was more rationally because he obviously was with Kurama, and not only did he like instantly manifest KCM without any qualms, but he also mastered Sage Mode, right? And Kurama is like exceptional at like gathering nature energy, so that's like my logic into why.
Yeah, even logically, like so in the most like high profile battles of Minato's career, he doesn't use Sage Mode. Like if he was so good, why didn't he use it against? Like, why didn't he use it against Obito?
It wasn't until he had Kurama.
Exactly, that's literally what I say. Yeah, it's literally the like. If it was instant mastery, like, you know, maybe not Hashirama because it's like clap his hands, but like Naruto and like KCM too, and obviously.
Exactly.
If it was really like that in that situation where he's getting pressed by all these like existential factors, you probably would have used it everything to your ability.
Especially like too smart. Especially with how like how high the stakes were against Obito. He's literally saying like, oh, this is gonna come down to who hits who first. So if if your precog is amplified, why wouldn't he use Sage Mode? It would be counterintuitive not to. So
like
just proves that he's not good at it.
It looks really rough, and like definitely to basically say that he's not, like, what a lot of people will try to like say in defense for Minato is like, oh, technically he has the perfect Sage look, you know what I mean? And forgot the fucking frog, he even explains like you have to basically master Sage Mode, you know what I mean, in order to have that look, otherwise it's incomplete. So like you have that crap, but either way, it's exactly what you're saying, like that. Yeah, it's just he never does it. Like the Nine Tails is right there in front of him, and Obito. And you would think, like, you might want to just use Sage Mode so you could take care of them right fucking there and then, but he doesn't.
And protect your family.
Someone Bustin again. Thanks for the $5. Sorry, I just looked at the chat. He said, how helpful would Kakashi be if he kept his DMS in Boruto? That's a good question. What do you guys think about that? How helpful would it be?
Oh man.
That's a good question.
Bro, out here cracked.
He'd be out here solving problems because it's like, you know,
Cowboys and a Susato, fucking.
I'll say this, just off if you go off like the novels, right? Because some people acknowledge them as canon, some people don't. But
yeah.
I know that's a whole thing. I'm not gonna get into that. But if you do take the mere fact that, you know, after losing his Sharingan, he was able to, you know, reach points that he was during the war arc, obviously minus his DMS.
Yeah,
it just shows like he would have also been training with that DMS, and it just would have been taken to such a higher degree.
Oh man,
that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
This is like the most you could highball if you use like this logical premise. If you take first the novels are canon, you take the statement where it says like Kakashi is significantly more powerful or like more like capable than he was in the war, and then if you interpret that statement as like this includes DMS, like it's conjunctively including that, then dude, he's fucking cracked. I mean, he would be helping with Momo, he'd be helping with not Ishiki, everyone's inferior to Ishiki, but he would definitely be helping against Kishiki. He would give Momo a run for his money because even DMS was able to blitz Kaguya after
multiple times
after her exponential increase in power, he's able to do what he does to her arm. So imagine a significantly more capable Kakashi than that. That's if we like interpret that statement that way and we take the novels as canon. Then he would fuck up Momo. Like I would say he'd probably give base Momo a hard time for sure.
Like I'll be honest, like Kakashi, like in Boruto, like I think the best way to grasp at him what we've gotten so far, like if you analyze the movie, which is canon, like there's fucking several shit to say it's canon, with the whole Hinata love story and shit, you name it, he does have his limits once he loses, like, you know, the sixth path shit, because there's a big ass meteor coming towards him, and I can't remember who caused it, whether if it was from that sixth path dude or it's from Naruto, I don't remember, but either way it was coming down from the move, and coming towards him, and they were all about to be fucked to where like even all those fucking like gang with the gates and shit like wasn't enough. They were able to crack it or some shit, but that's it. And Kakashi's like, fuck, like what do I do? Like you, in mind you, he has purple lightning, you name it. So like he has he knows all these jutsus. So if he was still on those levels and whatnot in six fight, you name it, he would have been able to deal with something like that, and he couldn't. And Sasuke had to come and save him.
Yeah,
so
I was literally gonna say that.
Like, he's not in that ballpark.
If I'm being like intuitively honest, like I would say it's not referencing DMS because at that point like. He's a threat to Otsutsuki. Like, if he's beyond DMS, then, like, even base Momo would struggle. He'd probably have to be fused Momo to even stand a chance. I think that...
What Batman's saying, I think he'd definitely fuck up, like, Teneri, though. The movie would be hilarious.
Yeah, if he was superior...
He would fight against base Momo, though, in Kinshiki, because if the 5 Kage can do it, he would be able to do it, too. But
like, if you consider the novel's canon, which is debatable, because, like, one of the writers said, one of the writers themselves of, like, the Sasuke Ritsuda novel said, like, oh, the one and only truth is the original comic, but that's up to you if you want to, like, accept that.
Anime.
I personally think, I mean, if one of the authors themselves says it's not, then I would say they're not. I don't know why I would go against their word. You could argue that's an appeal to authority, like that's fair, but I would say Kakashi and Boruto, if I'm being honest, he's not Otsutsuki level. I don't think he's Otsutsuki level, and I think that even base Momo would probably give him work. So yeah, I don't think it'd be that helpful, to be honest. Yeah.
I mean, he was like having trouble with like Kakashi and Koji, and he wasn't even in Sage mode.
Yeah,
so
but the question is, if he kept DMS, then he would be trouble for base Momo at that point. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And Teneri, for sure. Kinshiki, no doubt.
King Bullet stated that Boruto with the ninja tool that cheated against Shikadai was more powerful than Hiruzen.
Bruh.
How do you even substantiate that?
That's a good question. That's an excellent question. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's
I guess it'd be like that, you know?
What makes it weird is like there's like this large power cliffing from Naruto to Boruto where like Naruto and Sasuke are clearly like the top of the hierarchy, but like everyone gets like upskills because they're competing with like inners and outers of
exactly.
And like those guys are like in the data books, or I believe it's a data book or a novel. It says that the inners have warlock potential of Hokage Naruto. And we see Sarada blitz what's his name? Boro. Blitzes Boro, who's an inner. Like, that's insane.
Exactly.
And that's a guy with apparently war potential of Hokage Naruto. That's insane. I don't understand that.
Because of his virus, you know.
That's the way that's the way I like. The way I rationalize that is that like Boro is not a physically based character. He uses his virus to get the upper hand. So that's the way I would like substantiate.
I agree.
It's not like Delta at all.
I agree.
Like, if Delta and him swapped hands, like Delta would box him. But if they're like fighting with all their abilities, and his virus would be the threat, not his hands. That's what I would say.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. I've argued that because like Delta versus Boro was like a thing at one point.
Yeah.
And based off like Code's statement, I always went with Delta. You literally explained my reasoning. Like I 100% agree with.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think styles make fights.
Chidori and Sarda can like blitz them, then I'm sure Delta can.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah.
Not to mention their laser beams, you know. I mean, so
even Momo, there's a big like Momo versus Delta debate because if you don't use the anime, it makes the premise for Delta much stronger because of how the Momo and Naruto fight went. Like I almost debated 6 on it. But I had to go back. I was like, I'll let you know if I'll debate you on this. And then I saw it. I'm like, I'm going to lose. Because if we're using the manga, I don't have nothing for me. And he had all his empirical evidence, you know? So I thank God I caught that because he would have like slapped me in that debate. Because I didn't even realize like the discrepancy in how it's illustrated in the anime versus like the manga. I was like, oh shit, you know? So
yeah,
it's crazy.
And another thing real quick to throw something out for anybody that loses their minds over the whole like novels and shit being canon and whatnot. Like the only way you can really argue for all that shit is like because like for whatever weird reason there's like multiple resources. Like when you fucking just Google that shit, it says all of them are fucking canon, and apparently there's a certain information beyond that. So I don't know what the reasoning is, whether if it's from an author or if it's from this or that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But if you ever are arguing for it, because you can literally just Google it. There's tons of stuff you can find, see what the reasoning and justification is. Obviously, then you go from there. But I have no idea.
It's still debated. What's going on, Nayo? If I'm saying your name right, what's up? Someone asked Kaguya versus Borushiki. Honestly, that's a good one. It depends on how much Otsutsuki DNA has like manifested.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
If it's like early Karma Borushiki, Boruto would slam probably. Kaguya would probably slam him. If it's like current Boruto with Borushiki like emerged and he's like 100% Otsutsuki, maybe. That's contentious. I think it's like implied at least that. I think it might have been stated as well that if you have a host as a Otsutsuki, you're stronger than you would be like on your own as just pure Otsutsuki. I think Amato stated that.
He was in Turkey.
Yeah, because wasn't even Sasuke without a Rinnegan able to like go toe to toe with Borushiki?
Yeah,
too?
without a Rinnegan.
That's what makes it weird, man.
That is kind of bizarre. Yeah. I would probably say Kaguya until I see Borushiki like do some crazy stuff. Yeah.
Actually, do something. Yeah.
Hey, what do you? Oh, this is a question. Speaking of drama, what do you guys think of the Noodle stream on Swag's video in the Twitter battle that just happened?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Goofy behavior.
Yeah.
Goofy goobers.
Yeah.
Goofy goobers.
Yeah.
I just listen. I don't understand what people's facet like. It's just one of those things. Like, who cares if you have that opinion? Like, be your own. Go in your own corner, make your own video.
Yeah.
It's like, and I say the same thing to people. I'm like, listen, if you feel that passionately, make your own video. You don't have to agree with everything, little thing.
You gotta be so hateful about it.
I agree.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about last time. I was saying like, if you want to debate Swag, that's cool, but like the best strategy is certainly not to like insult him and like tell him to come.
Nah.
Like, you're a pussy and shit. I was like, what the? You think he's gonna want to debate you? What is he talking about? You know,
it's a lack of incentive. That's the problem. Like the shit talking entry. Like, I guarantee you, it's a different level when you come in with like a different type of energy.
Exactly. It's like incentivized. Like if this was a boxing match for boxing fans, Swag would be the A side. Why? Because he's the most popular. Like if you're trying to incentivize the A side with like, oh, you're a pussy and shit, then he's not gonna want to engage in like a debate. You know, it's the same thing with like boxing and stuff like that. The A side has like they have all the leverage. You know, so
the leverage.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah,
that's the way I look at it. Yeah, it's weird. The drama shit is weird. Dude, Loco stated that Tobirama can use tandem paper bombs with shadow clones. Nothing proves that. If he could do that,
that's
he would.
Not true. Yeah.
Oh, I've heard that take thrown around.
Yeah.
I never use that take in videos just because he literally states it's made for Edo Tensei to use it with.
Yeah.
I always just if you're gonna if you can go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry, bro. Go, please.
No, you're good, bro. You keep cooking. What the fuck? We just acknowledge.
My bad. I just said like if he was gonna use it like the way I perceive it, he just has some Edo Tensei in the back he summons and then just nukes the battlefield or whatever. Like
I agree.
Could maybe say like if you. My thing with the shadow clone is like. The whole my interpretation was that like the tandem paper bombs was like a pseudo form of like it's like dust release or like similar to Conan where like he manipulates the paper that takes the Edo Tensei form to like blow it up. So it kind of almost requires that raw material. But maybe you argue he does it. I don't know from there. I don't know. I just don't really use that argument.
Yeah, it's like not really like suggested. Like it's a possibility, but it's not suggested. I agree. That's kind of where I'm at with it too.
And what's really weird with it too is like if he could do that, then why isn't he not doing that? Whenever he's alive, or even as like Edo Tensei, he can do shadow clones. Yeah, he doesn't do that. Instead, he just does fucking on himself. You know, because he's Edo Tensei. You know what I mean? Like, So why incapacitate yourself when you could just use a shadow clone? You know what I mean? He doesn't ever fucking do that. Instead, he can use shadow clones that fly in Raijin, but just nothing to implicate that he can do that with fucking the bombs. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely. It's the medium of the paper material that makes the Edo Tensei enable
it keeps regenerating because of the Edo. Yeah, because that. So yeah, you wouldn't even be able to do that.
Yeah, and we do know that he's used it before because like here's an even mentions like he's using his special jutsu again. So like he's definitely utilized it It's like out of 10 state bodies.
I think
sure.
I think it's the time limit that Minato was referring to. Minato used one attack in Sage Mode, and it immediately disappeared. So it'd be just a wasted chakra because he can only maintain it for 2 seconds. Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, that's possible.
I'll be honest with the whole Minato and Sage Mode thing. Like, you could definitely argue the semantics and then really give Minato the benefit of the doubt, where it's not because like his Sage Mode is directly weaker than Naruto. You know what I mean? So you can like nitpick certain things and be like, oh, his Sage Mode is just as strong as Naruto because once again the look or the context and variables that were happening with the Jubi shit. But
regardless, I think that regardless of the reason, I think the overall premise is that it's not optimal for a live Minato to use Sage Mode, because honestly, he probably would have used it if he, again, like Obito, like literally he was like threatening his family, his son and stuff. Like he would have used it.
Man, the village,
like that would be like the most logical conclusion if he were really good at it. And there probably is a reason. There is a reason. I think that is a possible reason. Maybe he just can't maintain it that long. That is definitely possible. And like maybe it would like be detrimental for him to go into Sage Mode, and it would like hurt his chances of winning that battle. Now
I'll be honest. I don't think that's more likely the likely reason of why, because what we do know when it comes to Sage Mode is the main requirement is having a shit ton of chakra, and we know Minato is ridiculous with the amount of fucking chakra that he has. So he definitely fits that variable. And as long as you have a big fucking ass chakra pool, and it even shows like the diagram of it, you know, a circle, it shows yours and Sage Mode, and then another one. So as long as you have that, then he's good. So I don't think it would necessarily be the time limit thing. And once again, I think he just immediately deactivated it because the context, like Madara fucking no diffed all of them. So why are you going to continue to use Sage Mode when you can't scale to someone? So I do believe the context was there, and that's why. But when it comes to Sage Mode overall, of just why he doesn't really do it, you know, and so there has to be an extreme justification that we just don't know of why not. Because once again, like Jay said, he has plenty of opportunities and he doesn't do it. So.
Yeah, it's just like it just suggests that it's not optimal for him. Like his chances of being successful will go down. And he's extremely, as we all know, he's like one of the most intelligent beings in the verse. So.
Exactly. Who knows? And that's another thing you could throw in there for Minato too, is how intelligent he is. So like, you know what I mean? So I don't think it'd be completely out of this world for him to make full use of Sage Mode. Like, look at fucking KCM. Like, that was ridiculous. You know what I mean? So he's a genius, but we just don't know. You know?
Yeah. How strong is 5 Kage Summit Sasuke compared to the Akatsuki at the time? What do you guys think about that? That's a good question, actually.
I would probably say
Kakasu and hit on for sure, and Datara. You know?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No
I definitely think he's definitely not. I wouldn't necessarily say he's like top 3. I think like sub top 3 is only broke. I think the top 3 is only really like broken into it, like into the war arc, and you know, kind of to your discussion.
I agree.
I think him versus Kisame is definitely an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
But definitely he's probably like right under those top 3. Like depending, maybe you have Kisame off the B stuff or maybe not, but he's definitely at that level.
Yeah.
He's just in a pretty extreme fighter. Also goes off Sage Mode Naruto and all that stuff.
I agree.
I think he'd be able to deal with Sasori, you know, things like
Sasori's contentious.
Sasori's contentious depending on how you analyze it. But it's really interesting because the main thing that's going to be tremendous for Sasuke is his Susanoo. That's a big deal for Sasori. You know what I mean? You know, but
I think when looking at the empirical evidence, so we see like the limits of what Sasuke's able to do when he's like getting hate amp. Essentially, that's what like what's her name? I forgot the fucking bitch's name. That's just Karin. That's what she says. She's like, oh, he's his chakra's colder.
When she's so fodder, you don't remember her name.
I forgot her fodder ass. But she's like, oh, his chakra's getting colder. Like is it implying like a hate amp? So at the peak of his powers, we see him like reacting to at least V1 the Raikage. I'm not sure if he went V2, but I know for sure V1 he's reacting to the Raikage. So that at least allows us to like conclude on his speed. It's like top of the verse, obviously besides Six Paths and stuff like that. It's like up there. Because of that, I'm with Thunder God. I don't think he'll defeat like guys that are top 3. I don't think he's in that rare area.
No, hell no. Yeah.
So guys like Itachi, I mean, he's like swapping hands with KCM1. No. Guys like Nagato is about to rip Killer Bee and Naruto Soul out. Obito did what he did to Minato. So I don't think he's that level. So I agree with Thunder God. He's probably not there. So he's probably like in the like Kisame Sasori level. Like Kisame would be interesting for sure. Like
I agree completely.
Kisame could eat chakra. Kisame has a water dome. Kisame's with the shark form in the water dome, he's like relative in speed at least to V2 Killer Bee, which is insane.
Precisely.
That's where he would struggle. That's where I would say at least he'd start to struggle. would be like Kisame.
Yeah, bro, like remember the fucking that when he has EMS remind you, and Edo Itachi's there, and he goes to grab him, and Itachi's like, get that shit out of here, you know?
Yeah,
So,
even
like,
that's where he's barely
Itachi in pain and Obito level, and then fucking MS. I don't know about all that.
Yeah. EMS is where he barely starts to like approach like Itachi levels.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what
Itachi too.
That's EMS. Yeah, that's EMS by the way.
Yeah.
So
that's when he starts to like compete on the KCM level, and and gradually get up, and until like towards the middle of the war arc, then he's like really embracing his full potential, where you can even see like the perfect Susanoo design, on the whole Nine Tails and shit. And at that point, that's when you can definitely say, this motherfucker's getting up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's going on, Sir Goats? Thanks for coming in. YC Prodigy, thanks for coming in.
So I think like Five Kaguya-sama, he's obviously like above like Konan, Hidan, Kakuzu, and even Data, because in CM2 Heavy, Sasuke already beat his ass, right? So that's pretty blatant.
Yeah.
So it's interesting with Sasori because like Sasori's scaling like really puts him in high like regard.
Yeah, but crazy shit. Yeah.
I think that would be his cap, because like you guys were saying with like Kisame, like the water dome really like enables him to control your mobility. And then to like siphon your chakra, which is a kind of a detriment of
Susanoo's chakra, by the way. So
the
1,000 sharks, the mobility.
Sasuke,
like, I think he definitely.
Sasuke would have to use
Genjutsu though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That
that
would be his best. That would be that would be his best bet for sure. Would be Genjutsu.
Yep.
Combo
Susanoo with Genjutsu, because if he just goes like flat out using Susanoo, which is once again blatantly just chakra emitted from Uchiha, which is basically like what Biju do, that's gonna be a problem, because Kasame's gonna be like, yummy, and kryptonite.
Delicious,
so
but let's see. Actually, I have a question for Thunder God, being a fan myself. Do you have like any other anime you're really into besides like Naruto?
Oh man, I mean, Dragon Ball is definitely up there. I will say, I'm definitely, I've watched a lot of different anime. I like Kuroko no Basket. I don't know if y'all have seen that as like a basketball anime.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite ones.
That's a good one.
Interesting.
I'm a big fan of like the Japanese version of Yu-Gi-Oh, not the 4K.
Oh yeah.
That's really cool. I want to do a couple videos on that.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh, bro.
Yeah. So there's that type of stuff. I'm want to get into, and like this is a big thing I'm moving towards, like video game stuff.
Oh
like,
hell yeah!
I'm a big fan of like doing all that like Devil May Cry, Asura's Wrath, God of War, like all that stuff. Like there's a big I'm a pretty big fan of those in terms of scaling. But like anime, like I'll just watch a bunch of like anime. But JJK and like Bleach are the ones like I really want to like read through right now. Those are the ones that have my eye.
Yeah. Exactly. We're in the same like kind of place. Yeah, JJK and Bleach are like, I feel like 10 to 15 years from now, JJK for sure is going to be like the next guy up, so to speak, like as far as the anime world, like JJK, like at the top of the anime fandom realm, it's going to be like JJK, and like who knows, there's a couple good ones out there like Demon Slayer and like Chainsaw Man.
Demon Slayer's heat.
Yeah. But JJK, like we talk about JJK a lot. Like Gojo, to me, he's one of the most interesting characters I've like ever seen in anime. Just like his abilities,
easily.
Yeah, I really like how they used real mathematicians to like sort of implement like what kind of arsenal you'd have, like infinity, the idea of like calculus being like literally taught, like it's the way he explains his abilities is literally like calculus 101, like the idea of converging and diverging from infinity, and like the way he manipulates distance. That's why he caught my eye right away as soon as I like knew what he was capable of. Like he's up there for me as far as like favorite like anime characters. And obviously, I like his personality too. He's like very like Kakashi-esque, to be honest.
Exactly.
Definitely outshines the protagonist a lot.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah, he honestly, he kind of like, as far as the anime, to me, he like overshadows the main protagonist. I like him more than like
easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there's a reason why this fight right now is like being the most hype shit ever in the series. It's like, dude,
like the fight.
Like when we saw Kakashi versus Zabuza, we weren't thinking about Naruto.
Not as much. Yeah, exactly. And like, I think the main animation right now with I don't want to spoil anything, but the main fights that just came out with JJK are pretty awesome, dude. Like, it's like
crazy.
Yeah, and it shows like I like the way they're like introducing young Gojo. He's already like this prodigy that like the cursed spirits fear, and like even the Jujutsu High like recognizes. He's like this god amongst boys already, like as a kid, like just a kid basically. It's crazy.
He's the Hashirama basically.
Yeah, he's like the Hashirama of the verse. Like he's untouchable. Like it's insane, dude. Like, I'm really enjoying like how they're setting that up. It's pretty well done. Like it's pretty well done.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Oh, another thing too, Jade. I totally forgot to reinforce that notion you gave but way before the MS Sasuke with the Akatsuki.
Yeah.
When A goes V2, he does that. Well, Sasuke goes MS to survive from V1's hit, and he activates Susanoo. And the moment he does his MS, then the Raikage goes to V2. And he had to use Susanoo in order to deal with V2A because he was not fast enough. He just could not keep up.
Yeah, exactly.
Also.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point also.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is asked. What's going on, Jem? What do you
the
guys
fact
talk?
that Gojo, he has like the Limitless and the 6 eyes, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
like,
dude.
That's a exceptional sorcerer.
He's just like this prodigy, man. Like even with the, not to spoil the new episodes, but like he's like having like these epiphanies after battle. He's like, oh, I just realized something. Like I could do this.
Yeah,
and he, like, slams like and then he like fucking he slams Toji. He's like, oh, dude, I just came to this epiphany. He's like high and stuff. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. Like it's like holy shit, dude, this guy's a monster. You know?
So giddy. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys because I just keep hearing nothing but hype. And
oh, dude, it's so hot.
Yeah, this and this and this and this.
Yeah,
I'm probably dead ass and probably gonna start watching that shit with my girl tonight.
Dude, it's so good. It's really good, dude. Yeah.
I'm like, hey babe, you want to watch the JJK? You know, we just
Binge
finished
season
Hero
1, bro.
Academia. Let's
Dude,
finish
even
like
the
that.
movie. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, but like JJK Zero, I think. That shit was so good, dude. Yeah.
I've seen some memes from it.
Yeah.
Dudes out here brutalizing
Boxing.
people.
He's boxing like these like.
Literally boxing.
It was so good, dude.
Up with his hands.
Yeah. He's literally like fucking Rock Lee, dude, with his hands.
What a flex, bro.
Yeah.
Giving them the Ishiki treatment, you know?
Yeah. What's going on, Sir Goats? Sir Goats is in here. What's up, Sir Goats? Jem, what are you
Sir
talking
W,
about? We're just talking about anime. What's going on, Luis? Thanks for coming in. Oh, this is a good question from Sir Goats. Would Batman learn Sage Mode if he was in Naruto? Batman, dude, he's Batman. I mean,
he would definitely know of it, and he would utilize it. Why not? It just amplifies him even
he's
more.
outsmarted the world's greatest, not the world's greatest, like the DC universe's greatest minds before. If he were in Naruto, dude, he would be like another Minato times 10.
I think Shikamaru's smart.
Yeah, he basically would just be Shikamaru, and if Minato and Shikamaru like were combined as a baby, that's what he would be in the Naruto verse.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Nah.
Yeah. Are you a fan of comic books at all, Thundergod? Like DC or Marvel?
Man. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I might be a DC guy. It is. But,
I don't blame you.
Hey, my brother, same DC all day.
Marvel's guys though. Marvel has some good. Marvel has some good.
They do. Like, you know, Iron Man, Spider-Man, they do got some good shit. You know.
Yeah.
It's just something about I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm kind of just like Batman's him. I just.
Oh, dude.
Batman.
Facts.
You like the realism, right? You like the realism. You know what I mean? Of it, how the darker tones. It's more of like an enforcement of like, this is how fucking life is really, to be honest. While Marvel's like the rainbows and sunshine type shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even in the comics.
Crazy. I need to be Batman. I feel like I need to. You know?
Yeah,
It's
facts.
shit like that.
Facts. It's
And,
like
100% love that.
Yeah.
Six hates DC. Like he was the opposite. We had him a moment ago.
Yeah,
he's like, DC. He's like, fuck Batman. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, he's pro Marvel. He's pro Marvel for sure. Like I'm kind of torn. Like Batman overall, I think regardless of like universe, he's my favorite hero. Period. He's the GOAT, straight up.
Twice
but DC versus Marvel, like I might have to go with DC too, because I think where
DC was winning,
where Marvel has the cake is definitely the movies, like the live action, obviously.
Yeah.
But DC, dude,
Marvel,
but DC has like, I honestly think they make better comics. Not to say Marvel doesn't have goated comics, but I think DC has like slightly better. And I also think their animated stuff is better, by far better. The animated stuff is better for sure. Yeah, like.
TG, did you watch the new Flash movie by chance? And if you did, thoughts? Okay.
I've seen it though. I've seen like this stuff. I'll say this first and foremost. I watched the Snyder cut. I was actually a big fan of that. Like the Justice League Snyder cut. I thought that was great. I wish they kept that because I saw Darkseid and I was like, this is it. Like I need to change my channel name.
Yeah, facts.
We're about to see Superman and Darkseid throwing hands like some Dragon Ball shit. You know, like this is it.
No, I definitely the Flash movie was interesting from what I saw. I will say like I think my favorite part of that movie was Michael Keaton Batman. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
like,
so nostalgic.
I can't wait to watch it, dude.
Yeah.
So great. So great.
I haven't seen it either, TG. I'm not, because it's on Amazon, so you can buy it at any point. What's it called? It's on HBO, Amazon, but like I can't wait to watch that shit too.
That's great, man.
I'm not a fan of the actor for Flash after all the crazy bullshit he did.
I
would have rather had CW Flash for him, to be honest.
Ezra Miller, he's sus. Yeah. 5 Kage Summit Gaara versus Sage Jiraiya. 5 Kage Summit Gaara versus Sage Jiraiya. I still don't think Gaara is like even pain, like remotely close to pain level at that point.
Yeah,
What was the question?
The main
Sage Jiraiya would slam Gaara probably.
The only feat I see for Gaara is like this is the main thing like people bring up from what I've seen is that like he basically intercepts like Sasuke like falling like or Kage falling on Sasuke and like Sasuke shooting his end tone up, which like people kind of like use for that, and he's able to block Amaterasu.
Yeah, his sand speed is pretty strong.
It's pretty strong. Yeah, but at the same time, like there is ways to make like lore arguments that Sage Mode Jiraiya like could also be like comparable to the Raikage. So I wouldn't say like it's foolproof. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And I do think Jiraiya has win cons. You know, it just kind of depends. And this is like the interesting thing about like the Sanin or maybe like these Kage level characters. There's like multiple ways to kind of like avenue in to kind of get somebody over the other person.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you kind of have to get the matchup. But yeah,
like,
that's like my 2 cents.
No, absolutely, TG. That premise is pretty good because even in the anime and even the game, it heavily emphasizes that more. Where he's literally actually even the manga too. I think I'd have to go back, but I know for sure anime and in the game where he's literally just going blow for blow with Sasuke, and then also like fucking stopping all of his Amaterasu attacks. And even Sasuke says like your defense is still as great as ever when he utilized his Amaterasu. So,
I would say for Gaara's side, if I was debating this for Gaara, I would say like I would tell the person like prove that the Raikage falling is as fast as full speed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also another thing, guys, like I'm sure you agree that like War Gaara is stronger than 5 Kage Gaara.
At least
by some And that Gaara was relative to an Edo Raza, and Raza alive got defeated by a base Sanin.
Yeah.
So if we take Jiraiya as another blatant Sanin, and he has Sage Mode.
It's just bad. They're equal to each other in the work,
Yeah, that's a good, exactly. It's like when you look at the empirical evidence, like, Gaara lost to someone who lost to a blatant Sanin in base, by the way. He's not like he used Hydro Snakes, at least not to our knowledge. And
he didn't lose to him, but Gaara did beat him, but he struggled.
There was relativity. There's relativity,
yeah.
And he had like...
Exactly.
Yeah, there's definitely relativity, and I would say Sage Jiraiya, like, once there's like Sanin base, and then there's like Sanin plus levels, like Tsunade using
Sanin plus.
Like Tsunade using her 100 healings, Orochimaru using his like pseudo Sage Mode Hydra Snakes, and then obviously Jiraiya using his Sage Mode. I think Gaara doesn't reach that like rare air. I mean, even
agreed.
And that's why I'm this. I really personally think Sage Mode Jiraiya just takes it, and and even like base would be a little bit more contentious, but I even still think base takes it.
Yeah.
Because the best way to analyze and approach it, once again, like even War Gaara, arguably stronger a little bit, right? Struggles with Ryza, they're kind of just equal, whatever, yada yada. Now you could technically defend Gaara in one sense, like if you want to nitpick the semantics of it, where basically like, oh well, he's fighting his father, yada yada yada, so maybe he's like mentally nerfed, and that's why it's kind of like a bad showing. But that's gonna be more on the speculation side of shit. It's reasonable, but let's say you take that at a grain of salt, and then once again, like Jay was saying, compare all the Sani, you name it, it's just way more greater for the Sani because it's really simple scaling. Like it goes from high level Kage people and even joinings that can eventually get to Kage, and then you have Sanin that are like basically above those majority of Kage level people, and then you have like the next level, which is like Itachi, Minato, Obito, and Pain. You know what I mean? And so it's like that's where you kind of have to like analyze it in a sense. And if it came to Gaara coming at it, sure, he can block fire and shit from a distance or whatever, but what is he gonna do about a big ass Sage R Rasengan and summonings coming at him along with Ma and Pa throwing shit? And we do know the Sand's weakness is water style. Imagine Sage Mode water style coming on that
oil
bitch, like
too.
Yeah, oil.
I was about to say that.
I was about to
say oil's a big thing.
It's like they're
look at base Jiraiya's like crazy massive fire style in combination with Gunbunta's aura release. That shit was fucking huge.
Yeah.
And instantly one-shot the fucking snake that Datara had to use his strongest explosion for. And that's base Jiraiya. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, bro. But
I think that to create, like, if you compare, like, the strength of each premise with evidence, the one for Jiraiya is stronger. There's just more for
It's stronger. You could argue Gaara,
It would just be harder.
I think it'd be hard.
Yeah, it'd be harder. My bad, guys. I'll try to read through the chat quickly. There's a lot of chats here. Let's see. Let's see. I love Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is goated, dude, for sure.
W.
Yeah.
I love GX in the first season. Those are like the two goated ones.
Yeah.
In my
phenomenal. I'd recommend the Japanese. It's phenomenal. Like if you haven't had a chance to like rewatch it, it's
even
S tier. I love it.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, for sure, it's goated. How does Kid Kakashi do in part 1? Oh, $10 from Sir Goats, of course. Sir Goats, appreciate that, man.
Without Sharingan or with Sharingan?
Let's see what he says. Oh, this is a good question. Dora the Explorer, no toon logic, but she has the backpack versus Superman. Oh shit, dude. Well, without toon logic, she can't because the way cartoon characters work is that their only limitation is their own imagination and their own doubts within themselves. That, for the most part, unless it's an episode where SpongeBob's happy and he gets his ass beat. But Dora the Explorer with no toon logic with the backpack. I mean, if we're able to use toon logic for the backpack could the backpack doesn't have any physical combat abilities, and Superman is Superman. So, I'd probably say Superman. If there's no toon logic, then I can't scale Dora to beyond reality or anything. So
what does the map scale to?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
What do we do?
Yeah, imagine this. It's like Dora doesn't have any toon logic powers, and the backpack is like, oh, here's Superman. And Dora's gonna be like, okay, I know where he is, but now what? I'm not gonna be able to beat him.
Yeah,
literally.
So, I'm gonna get slammed by Superman. He's gonna slam me. So yeah, exactly. Oh, my bad, Steven. You said I missed your super chat. Whatever you do, don't read recent Spider-Man. Oh, really? I haven't caught up with Spider-Man comics.
Damn.
Damn. Calling it out, bro.
Speaking of Spider-Man though, TG, fucking shit. What's it called? Do you have you ever played the Spideyverse games and shit? They're still good.
Stop, man. Listen, you know about the new ones that are coming out?
Spider-Man 2? Spider-Man 2.
Phenomenal.
Bro.
Yo, it's gonna be
gas,
crazy.
bro.
I bought the Spider-Man 2 Special Edition PS5 and it looks so fucking good.
Bruh.
Dude,
dude, Spider-Man 1, dude, was so gas that it's one of the best games of all time. I think it's as good as
I loved it.
Yeah, it's almost as good as Batman Arkham Knight in my opinion. It's that damn good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Who wins? Spider-Man or Batman Arkham? Who wins?
Oh yeah, that would be good. That would be a good fight.
Game,
Batman
bro.
with prep time, oh shit. But Spider-Man was really good, dude. I mean, obviously they have to use the goated Sasuke voice actor. It was super
No, Yuri
goated, dude.
Lowenthal killed it. Yeah, he did a great job. I love his performance.
He definitely killed it. It was really dope. Even Miles Morales was really. It wasn't as good as Spider-Man 1, but it was pretty good as well. And the trailer for Spider-Man 2 is so gas, dude. I like the way they're shifting Peter Parker's personality because he has the symbiote. The small subtleties.
It's the Web of Shadows vibe, bro. I don't know if you guys ever played Web of Shadows. That game was so fucking good.
It's like in the trailer, Miles is talking to him. He's like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna take Krillin, what was his name? Craven the Hunter out." Craven. And then Miles is like, "Oh shit, what happened to you, man? You changed." He's like, "No, I'm taking him out."
Yeah,
he's cold now. I think that's heat.
He looks great.
Yeah,
he looks great.
It's awesome, and I liked the gameplay they showed, the way they use the symbiote for combos and stuff like that. It's pretty dope. Yeah,
the Arkham games were heat too.
Oh, dude,
man.
Arkham City, dude.
So good, man.
Arkham City. I think Arkham City is still probably the best hero superhero game I've ever played.
I would agree.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So good, bro. The story.
Hulk Ultimate and Ultimate Destruction is up there too, but I still think Batman's better.
Spider-Man 1 is right there. It's right there. It's super close.
It's there.
Yeah.
It is there.
Yeah,
it almost did it, but it didn't.
Almost. It's like a 9.5. Arkham City's like a 10, basically. Yeah. Spider-Man 2 has the potential, though, dude.
Even Arkham Asylum was fucking great.
Yeah, when they had Spider-Man for the
when I hear that jingle, I get a wave of nostalgia. Man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
God.
Definitely.
Game.
So good.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know. TG was playing that shit. He's like, "Yo, I'm Batman, bro."
Oh, dude. You really.
I feel it's crazy.
It's really, you really do feel like Batman in the Arkham series, dude. It's pretty dope, man.
You feel so powerful too. You're like, I just fucked that man up and put him to sleep.
Whipping 30 goons' asses at once.
100 plus people. Yeah.
they need to do Arkham Batman right in that Suicide
Oh,
Squad.
dude, I swear. I'll say, dude.
Doesn't that look like Arkham Batman? It has to be,
bro. Honestly, dude, they dropped the ball with Gotham Knights, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it was mid, bro.
God, that shit looks awful.
It was mid as fuck. The graphics, the gameplay was mid. Even the fucking story was mid. How does Ra's al Ghul pull up to Batman's crib and kill him? How does that even happen? I don't understand that.
Batman out of all versions.
He's all
IQ.
yeah, bro.
Stabbed and he pulls the blade deep sleeper. It's like, what is this? This is
Yeah.
not my Batman.
I'm like, this is not Bruce Wayne. Who the hell is this dude? Like, dude,
Bro,
Ra's
the
al
fucking
Ghul.
Dark Knight trilogy Batman probably beats his ass.
He slides up to his crib, and kills him. Like, dude, are you serious? Like, I don't understand
that's
that.
just disrespectful.
A bad look for Batman.
Like,
bro.
dude, Arkham City Batman would never allow that to slide. Like,
No. He bullied Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah,
He
in
fucking
Arkham
beat him up
City.
with hits.
Arkham City, like, he's sick and shit, and he whipped his ass. Like, what's
And he still beat his ass.
good.
Like 3 fucking hits. Like, don't get me wrong, you get the whole like boss fight feat and it's all, whatever, but it's because it's a game, right?
Yeah,
so like
bro.
once it shows the cinematic and they like you get to see them, immediately just subdues them. Bro, even
Yeah.
Deathstroke got his like I'll never forget it. Arkham Origins was that the fucking fights were fucking amazing. But Deathstroke, right? He's a fucking super soldier. He's like a Captain America basically, but a guy that kills and shit.
S-tier.
He comes in,
S-tier.
you start throwing hands, you're going and you're just beating his ass. It's still a great, incredible fight, but Batman's literally just dominating Deathstroke.
Yeah, exactly.
Beating his ass, and Deathstroke's like, "What are you?" You know what I mean? And he's like, "I'm fucking Batman," and knocks him out. And then the Arkham Knight, Deathstroke, he knocks him out in one hit.
Yeah, literally.
Damn, bro.
They didn't even give
That's
Deathstroke.
the one thing about Arkham Knight. Yeah, I don't like the take battles and shit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree as well. Like, the villains were subdued so quick. Like, Deathstroke is
it was
he's
stupid.
that guy, but he got knocked down like one shot. I was like, damn, bro. Like,
Yeah,
just give him-
it's very disappointing in the aesthetic like of like game value. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I was just bringing it up as a comedy point because it's just hilarious. It just goes to show the blatant difference between this Batman of how fucking powerful he is compared to his villains than the Batman we see in fucking Gotham Knights.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Dude, the game itself felt like too arcadey. That was like a fucking arcade game playing Batman or something. Like, it wasn't like I didn't feel immersed in the world like Arkham City.
Immersive enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like TG, like I love DC so much, and especially Batman, to where the game was still great for me, but it was absolutely mid. It was so disappointing. I was like, come on, now. You know what I mean?
Let me try to speed through for you folks. My bad. Let's see.
Like, at least keep the fucking Arkham mechanics in a way. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna be doing that shit, it's like, come on, everybody's gonna look at that and be like, this is fodder in comparison.
Do you guys think Sukuna is a fraud? Dude, like, we were talking about this before the stream. Like, I might just read ahead because I'm not caught up to the manga. But, dude, Gojo versus Sukuna, I hear goated things. And, like, dude, I might just read ahead, dude. That's just me.
Yeah.
Like,
let me say something. And this is a problem I have with Twitter. Everyone's disloyal. I've learned that Twitter, I don't use it because everyone's crazy.
Yeah.
They're fake. Let me tell you why. The way these dudes switch up every week on who's the fraud is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, 1 second, like, Gojo has something happen. This dude's not my jujitsu sorcerer. And then, like, the second week, like, so these dudes, I can't take nobody on that platform seriously.
Nah, bro, facts. It's dead ass. That's so true.
Bro,
Every
it's been L so far. They changed that shit to fucking X. What the fuck is that, bro? Get back to the blue bird, you motherfuckers.
It's so like it's such a
basic.
It's so basic, It's like a basic ass like
fucking X and black, like, bro. Literally, I'll never forget. It was 2 days ago, and I'm over here going on Twitter, right? I was looking for it. I'm like, where the fuck is my Twitter? I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm looking everywhere, and then next thing you know, I see like this big X and it's black. I'm like, no shot. They did.
it feels
No
like
shot.
the way they named it and the way they like portrayed the aesthetic. It feels like a fucking like junky third party app now. I'm like, what the hell is this? That's the way I look at it. The way like the aesthetic of the app.
Verify bullshit too that they were doing. That pissed about, you know.
Twitter, I think that's like maybe that's their response to like Threads or some shit. I don't know. Elon and Mark are having like beef, bro, for sure.
Yeah, literally, dude.
Legend. Let's see. You good? Sasuke can react to V1, but V2 is blitzing him. Really? Yeah, I'd have to probably reread that.
Yeah, V2 blitz Sasuke overall, but Sasuke can still react with his Susanoo. He has jutsu activations. Yeah. That's what he had to do in order to survive. But yes, if he didn't have Susanoo, he absolutely gets beat.
Yeah.
And activated his Amaterasu.
Only his jutsu activation skills to V2, but not his body himself.
Yeah, that's the most. Yeah, I agree.
It's like his brain, you know what I mean? Like his nerve transmission.
What's going on, Luis? So, yeah, like me, like we were talking about this. Like we talked about this before, like the flying Raijin, like difference between Tobirama and Minato. Like how it's stated that Minato's is better. A lot of people think that like, oh, his flying Raijin is faster. Like no, the flying Raijin. This is what I think at least. Flying Raijin itself is instantaneous. But there's a two-step process. First, you have to activate it. That's where the discrepancy, I think.
You're cooking. Preach, please. You live this thing.
I think like the discrepancy is so minuscule that people don't realize that there is a discrepancy between Tobirama and Minato. Like that's why in the data book it's stated that Minato is better at the flying Raijin. Like the flying Raijin itself is the flying Raijin itself is instantaneous. The activation time is not like it's.
And
it's,
not only that, Jay's absolutely correct in TG because the feats in the war, it's the same shit. It's the same exact feats against Jubito. You know?
Even when they appear on the battlefield, he says you're better with body flicker than me. And I know the Viz translation is better at teleporting than me, but the most rational conclusion is body flicker. Body flicker is dependent upon like your synapses ability to fire, like how fast they fire and they activate the jutsu. That just implies that his synapses fires faster than Tobirama's. Like he's physically faster than Tobirama. That's what it implies.
Physically, all stats. Yeah.
So yeah,
he literally arrived first. So
and we've talked about that before. Like I think that's like a misconception. Like, oh, so the Flying Raijin itself is faster? No, not the Flying Raijin, but like their ability to like activate Flying Raijin. You know. That's the way I look at it, at least.
The only argument in defense of like saying that's not the case, which mind you, this is a very weak one. And so when you're comparing all the empirical evidence for the other side and a stronger possibility, it just doesn't compete. But the only argument is the fact that like Tobirama says his Flying Raijin is slower as a shadow clone, but that's only for shadow clones, not for the original user. We have no idea how it's entirely users.
If anything, that scan reinforces the notion that doppelgangers are like slightly inferior to the original chakra user,
which makes sense because their synapses is slower.
Exactly. That implies like they're slightly inferior. At least Tobirama's are inferior to himself, and that's why he's like, oh, doppelgangers have slower Flying Raijin because their synapses fire slower than mine, so it's not as efficient.
And it makes sense because it's stated shadow clones have 1/10 of the original user's power as well in the beginning. So it's like, and then part 1. So like,
is that water clones?
So it's said for Zabuza's water clones, but the reason why it applies to shadow clones is because Kakashi even concedes and says, even if I do a shadow clone, his water clone would just counter it, and it would be literally counterintuitive, and it wouldn't get anywhere. So meaning shadow clones do scale to the water clones with the exact
that was a rusty as Kakashi too.
Yeah, I'll say this though, like to be fair about like the contingency of like shadow clones and how they stack up to the original user, it is like a little vague. Like in part 1 in the Chunin exams when Neji's analyzing like Naruto's clones, he's like, oh, they're all evenly, the chakra is evenly distributed amongst them. Like that implies like
equal.
That implies like equal power, if anything. You could argue semantics, and you could argue like his chakra itself is being split apart evenly, as well. Like they're all weaker, but it's still a little vague to me. Yeah, I think that
it is vague. And what I think it is with Naruto, Jay, is because he has so much fucking chakra and stamina. Yeah. For one, that's why he's able to kind of do it that way with all the chakra, being equal. And then 2, most importantly, like we've seen it plenty of times, even with other characters, not even Naruto, but the shadow clones can be able to show relativity to the original user. And I think what the main aspect boils down to is as long as if you have good chakra control, they can still scale to the original user in a sense, you know what I mean? Yeah. And we even kind of see that with Naruto in the war arc, you know what I mean? Where as a fucking shadow clone bodying people with KCM and Sage mode and shit, Kage level people.
Yeah.
It's a fucking shadow clone.
Yeah, I think that, I mean? So I think that Naruto, he has the best argument that his clones, especially as an adult, are damn near like equivalent to himself. What he's doing, the things that he's accomplishing, like fighting the Raikage with a clone, that implies that they're pretty close to his power if they're doing that.
And also, even all his fights against Gaara, against Sasuke, they're all similar to the original Naruto. I mean, sure. So it's his feats.
Even when he's faced off against Mitsuki, if he split his power into a thousandths, each one was a thousandth of the original user, how the hell is Mitsuki gonna lose? Even though it's a lot of people at hand, but nonetheless, if they're that weak, then you're not gonna lose, bro.
Exactly.
And,
that also makes sense.
Another way to see it too, and mind you, and this is not just for Naruto, so I'm just putting it because even Kakashi, he's the same factor, and Kakashi has nowhere near the amount of stamina and chakra as Naruto, but when he uses shadow clones, they're also relative to his original self. You know what I mean? So
it definitely
it's just shadow clones, they're not you know what I mean? As long as you apply your chakra control, then you could be similar to your original. I'm the statement I made before, I'm not saying your shadow clones you're always at 1/10 of the original user's power. That's just the quantification that we get from that. But once again, if you're good with chakra, you can obviously amplify yourself even if you're nowhere near the other person, and you could be able to compete or be relative.
It's definitely vague for sure. Oh, Steven with 2. Thanks, Steven. He says, Thunder God, who wins, my Gamabunta versus Noodles Kakazu?
Oh my fucking god!
Noodles Kakazu?
Kakazu is in Sonic tier, so he gets fucking slammed by the frog. How about that?
It's because his Gamabunta scales above the 3 tails on some
what the
stupid
fuck?
shit. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh my god!
I hate him for it, bro.
Jesus.
I don't know where Noodle scales Kakuzu like fully. What's
above
where?
Pain.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, Noodle's even.
He thinks he's stronger than Minato and Pain.
Yeah,
so
Noodle's.
he kind of gives you that scaling.
He'll even debate Kakuzu over Minato. Yeah, he'll even do that.
And he thinks Kakuzu's durability is also greater than Mater, which is blatantly easily debunkable.
You think Kakuzu versus Tobirama and Minato at the same time?
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Let's see what they said. Y'all got any plans tonight or Sunday? Yeah, we're just chilling, man. Vibing. There's fights tonight.
UFC.
Actually, I haven't asked you, Thunder God. Are you a fan of like combat sports or anything like that? Like UFC?
So I like UFC, right? But I have to confess, I didn't watch it, right? And I have a funny story linked to this. So I ended up I had a raid promotion, right? Where it was like, what's that one chick UFC, like Ronda something?
Oh, Ronda Rousey? Yeah.
Ronda Rousey, right? So in the video, I ended up saying like Ronda Rousey, and I sent that to the sponsor. They okayed that shit, so I just got crucified by people.
Oh.
People being like, I just got people being like, you can tell this guy doesn't watch UFC. I'm like, man, fuck you. You're right.
Hey, dude. Hey, even me, dude. I completely understand because there are names in the UFC, dude, that, and I've been watching since I was like a kid. I've been around it. Like, there's names, dude, that are so hard to say. Like Khabib's last name, Nurmagomedov. I could barely say it now. Nurmagomedov's one to name. There's this other guy with the longest name ever. He retired. He was another like Russian, like Zabit. I don't even know how to say his last name. It starts with an M. Like, there's so many names that are so hard to say. Like, I've definitely done it too. It's like, holy shit, dude. Especially the guys from Europe, Russia and like China. Like, their last names are so difficult to say. It's like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, but I understand a lot of the appeal with like UFC. Literally, it's kind of like power scaling. Like,
deadass.
That's why, like, when people say, "Oh, power scaling's ruined this," you're just not using the term correctly because everybody does it in daily life.
Exactly.
UFC, that's literally what you're doing. So I get the appeal for it. And I think it's interesting. You know, I want to get into like honestly like on my own like UFC like combat training.
Hell yeah.
Because I've done like karate and stuff like that. I got a history of that, but it's always interesting, you know. And because I also do like wrestling and stuff like that. And I love to see how they incorporate it.
Oh,
so,
dude.
It looks great.
I boxed like I was put in boxing really young. I did MMA too. It's definitely good to like learn how to defend yourself, and like when you do watch the fights, you understand the nuance like decisions fighters make. Like if you're someone that has no training, you're like, oh, these guys are just hitting each other, they're brainless. Like, no, dude, this is dead ass art, dude. Like this,
it's like a mental game.
It's literally a chess game where if you're not intelligent, you won't be champion. If you look at the champions today in the UFC, there's some of the most intelligent fighters, like Israel Adesanya, for example. To me, he's probably the best striker I've ever seen in like UFC history. He is so tactical and like cerebral with his attacks that people don't even realize it. Like he's a wizard in there. Or Floyd Mayweather from boxing.
You have to be decisive. Yeah. It's kind of like you get some Naruto value out of it. I know we're talking about reality right now, but it's kind of like Naruto. Like if you're equal to somebody, you got to outsmart them, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there is like freaks of nature, like a Hashirama equivalent, like Francis Ngannou, for example. Like his power is so preposterous. It's like the equivalent of like fucking Hashirama's like wood style. Like that's how powerful he is, bro. Like dead ass. Like fucking John Jones. John Jones is like the equivalent.
Oh,
of like,
I've heard of John Jones.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. First of all, he's the fucking GOAT, dude. Like by far, to me, in my opinion, greatest MMA fighter of all time. He's like the equivalent of like fucking Mater or something. He's just like unstoppable force in there. That
largely in part due to his wrestling.
Yeah,
that's what really makes.
And this is what I would say that's good for you, Thundergut, because you said you did wrestling. I would say, in my opinion, the best basis to start out MMA in is wrestling, because everything chains off from wrestling. Like even if you fight a good striker, let's say you're doing MMA, their striking won't be as like potent because they're gonna be in fear of you taking them down. So if anything, you have the advantage. Yeah. So that's why Khabib was so good. Like why he whipped Connor's ass.
I've heard that. I've heard that a lot actually. That what you're about. Yeah, go ahead.
And Connor's a way better striker than Khabib, obviously, but his striking wasn't like world class because he was so fearful of the takedown. Which if you already have that in the bag, you're gonna do good in MMA. It's like you're gonna be more successful. Yeah. That's
so
for sure.
Jay, I have a question for you. Like, what do you think is more like appealing to watch, like Dagestan wrestling or Greco-Roman?
That's a good question. I think Greco-Roman is more like for technically like guys with a trained eye. Dagestani is more like you're getting mauled, like Khabib. Khabib would just like, what he would do is he would get the single leg. He would tie his legs underneath your leg. It's like a mauling. You're watching like a bear mess up a man or something. That's basically Khabib style. Yeah, Greco is more like it's more chain wrestling. Like it's more boring. Like
John Jones is great too, though.
Yeah.
Wait, who do you think takes that in grappling, Jay? John Jones or Khabib?
Grappling?
That's
probably
Yeah.
Khabib. I think Khabib's probably the best like pure wrestler.
I love the slams though from Greco-Roman. Like that.
John Jones, he's nasty with his wrestling, bro. He's good.
Khabib is the greatest grappler I've ever seen. As far as like the best all around, it is John. John is the greatest. Like
all around John. Yeah, that's why he would probably beat Khabib because of like he's all around. I mean, that's why you'd actually get the edge. But if it was just only grappling, then absolutely.
Yeah. I think
he out-wrestled DC, bro.
Yeah, he out-wrestled an Olympian. So yeah, UFC. I would definitely recommend it. Definitely do combat sports. It just helps.
Wait, an Olympian?
Yeah.
DC,
because like the combat sports, it's just a good like stress reliever, dude. Like you have a long day, you go fucking spar and like go war somebody. Like it feels good. I'm not gonna lie. Like it obviously it hurts to get hit, but after it's over, you're like, damn, dude, that was great.
Body for you.
Yeah, because it's like I work out a lot, so it's like the type of. And I'll ask, like I've talked to a couple of different people, and it's just like it's two different. It's completely like different types of like training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One's more like conditioning, and the other, like going the distance. Where the other's just like like working out to like burning the tank to like
exactly
you lift the PR, all that.
Yeah,
it's always interesting. Yeah,
you're exactly right. Like it is. I've done both for a long time, and it is completely different. Like lifting is more like explosive, like you're building strength, you're trying to get bigger, larger. Combat sports is like strength is not going to be like the main thing that's focused on. Like you do a little bit of like explosive training, but it's like you're building skill. Like that's basically what's coming, and endurance, of course. Like road work is unless you have bad knees or something, like Kamaru Usman, road work is great. Like honestly, road work is kind of, to me, in my opinion, it's pretty peaceful to just like go out in the city like at night, just like vibe running. It's like it sucks when you're fucking exhausted, but like it's a good I don't know, it's a good way to just let loose, just run and fucking build your endurance. It's pretty great. I'll say for sure. Like yeah, it's pretty great.
Talk about like David Goggins,
carrying
the bullets.
Yeah. Literally, like I'll be literally like David Goggins, like talking to yourself. Yeah. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend like getting in there. Like I would say that it helped me too a lot. Like it's just a good stress reliever for a long day. Yeah. Definitely, bro. It's really dope. Let's see. You think Kimimaro is messing with Hidan? Oh, that's a tough case to make.
Sick Kimimaro?
Sick? Nah, definitely not.
Sick gets slammed. But if it's like even if he went to see him too, like I don't think like he's just not. He's not up there at that point. But if it's prime Kimimaro,
there's an argument. There's an argument. Yeah, I think there's argument. Kimimaro prime might be able to, but there's literally nothing on him. That's why you can't really make it.
I know as an Edo,
you have the KCM Shadow Clone feats with Chio,
but
Chio exactly. Yeah.
In the manga though, in the manga, to be fair, it doesn't really show him fight KCM Naruto. But
exactly.
The anime he does. It has some detail, but the manga is just him kind of there. Like in the manga he dodges a Rising Shuriken from KCM Naruto, but
you could argue,
that's in the manga.
But if I was debating, I would just argue that wasn't a full power Naruto. That was like fatigued KCM Naruto clone. But yeah, he did fight a KCM clone. Which is still impressive.
Yeah, and
the clones are ridiculous because they're all fucking Kage level and shit.
Literally.
I mean, one beat the third by Kage, dude. So really
so like I don't know. I think Kim, he's pretty, but that's a good way to analyze it well from Jay's stance because what's the most contentious aspect of KCM Naruto is he's constantly doing shit. And as the original user, like, he's doing all these fucking jutsus and the clones, and it's like, so we're like, what really is the quantification power levels?
It's like there's what makes it difficult is like each clone has like this arbitrary level of fatigue. You can't really quantify like how weak is this clone.
It's not like Kimimaro is fighting like full power KCM Naruto that fights against Raikage from the world.
Or like Obito, exactly.
Chio being able to dodge that's kind of insane too.
Yeah, her age, it is pretty impressive.
I heard they just passed away.
Bro, Chila's story is they're just like that, bro.
Prime Chio is.
Oh, Prime Chio for sure. Yeah. Prime Chio for sure.
Yeah,
but like old Granny Chio as an Edo dodging like a Ross.
Yeah, she's able to dodge with Chio, like yo. Like the South 4 get blitzed by KCM Naruto. Like they all just get blitzed. And then, like, you see Chio and Kim just like, nah, we got this. And we
got this, fam.
It's definitely, the war definitely, like, raises some eyebrows. Like, how strong were some of these ninja? Like, some of these shinobi.
Yeah, right? It's like, the fuck?
Yeah, like, Kimimaro? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's
like,
it's
Hanzo was the only, Hanzo, the salamander guy, he was the only one that technically actually got weaker as an Edo because his mental fortitude declined drastically. But that was it.
Gamabutsu might cap at One Tail's level. Yeah, probably.
Maximum. Yeah.
Thoughts on Gordon Ryan? Oh, Gordon Ryan. If you're talking about the jiu-jitsu practitioner, he's like the Michael Jordan of jiu-jitsu, I'd say. He's the best of all time. Yeah.
That's saying something.
He's really fucking good. He's really fucking good at jiu-jitsu.
One argument for the Frog J that you can say is in the data book, the way it explains his like speed when he leaps and shit, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it basically says like it's just undodgeable. Yeah. And like, and we kind of see an example of that against One Tail where he just speed blitz him and then cuts his shit off, which it's kind of impressive in a sense because what you can do is like you can apply like, oh well, a live Madara with a fucking Renegon couldn't even dent Shikaku. And you see the Frog over here cutting his goddamn armor off like fucking butter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you want to kind of go that route, then you can kind of shit on Kakashi and say he just gets speed blitzed in one shot.
Yeah, literally.
Oh man.
Himimaru beats Hidan badly, to be honest. Where does
especially healthy?
Yeah, healthy is a good argument. Someone should just. Where does CM2 Heavy Sasuke compare to Sonic? Me and Shinobi made a video on this. I think that CM2 Heavy Sasuke, obviously it depends on, I would say, post-absorption of Orochimaru Sasuke competing with Deidara and like nearly stalemating. There's an argument that he's above Sonic level. It's contentious though, because even after, like, Karin's like, oh, like, how did you do this poorly? He's like, well, this Orochimaru was sick. Like, it's kind of implying, like, he's still inferior to...
Exactly.
Yeah. He's kind of... He himself is implying inferiority, so if anything, I would say, like, he probably isn't, like, prime Orochimaru level, I'd say. I think.
I don't... Like, it just really depends on, like, your comprehension of him. Like, there's ways you can advocate for him to get there or not. But, like, the way I see it is, like, Orochimaru is, like, literally on his fucking deathbed, right? You know what I mean? Like, super fucking weak, you know what I mean? Whatever. Sasuke finally comes in, takes advantage of that, goes immediately to CM1. Orochimaru can still react and fucking fight to a degree. And then, like, he goes CM2, Orochimaru powers up in his weird snake shit. And then just beats him up still, and he was at Orochimaru's mercy, and he could have killed him right there and then, but he wanted to take his body, and that's why it went the wrong way, and Sasuke was able to overpower him with his willpower. It
seems implied that he's inferior still to Sannin. It's contentious.
And look at Four Tails Naruto, like he was able to fuck with the Sannin, but when we see Sasuke, we just don't really get any implication like that.
Yeah, you know? Like even him doing what he did.
That was Jiraiya in his face too. I mean, like Sage Naruto.
He also struggled against Deidara, you know. So
him doing what he did against Deidara was impressive, but that's it's not enough for me to like concretely conclude that he's above like Orochimaru. That's how I say.
Because Deidara fought fucking Orochimaru and he couldn't do shit. He couldn't do nothing.
And Jiraiya did quite well against Pain too, even though he was holding back significantly. I mean, it was still impressive nonetheless.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
I'm gonna head out. Thanks for coming in, YCA Prodigy. Appreciate that.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man.
I don't think Chio actually scales to Hanzo as much as people think. Well, she had several encounters with Prime Hanzo, she said, and it's also So that implies
you agree, right, TG? You agree that she's definitely
in her prime.
That caliber.
In her prime, absolutely. Yeah. She has no anti-feats. Like the lore suggests it. I mean, you can make the argument we don't know, but it's like if she fought him multiple times, like what other?
Like she has to be,
It's like if they're like Kage and 8 Tails. It's kind of like a similar dynamic.
That's like the most rational conclusion. Like if he's had several encounters with her and she's not been like eliminated, then obviously there's like relativity.
And he doesn't spare people. The only people he ever fucking spared was the Sannin. That's it.
He's not known to really spare people.
And that means Chio arguably is greater than those particular Sannin. I mean, meaning they would have been at a fucking her mercy with Prime.
Yeah, probably. Rank the Hokage strongest to weakest without Naruto or Demons Kakashi. You guys want to go first on that? Oh yeah, TG, you want to talk?
Let them know, TG. Let them know what the.
You gotta let him cook.
I mean, obviously, like Hashirama, you got that. I'm gonna put like Minato, but like with QB Minato, like the whole like thing, obviously second. Tobirama versus here. So if like I had to give you like prime heroes I would probably put him like here. Yeah. Just because it makes more sense that he would have surpassed Tobirama because he had more innate potential and he lived longer. So it just seems like on top, and the lore arguments have like, they're debatable. I will say that. But if you did throw him in, Now this is just me. I personally have Tobirama above Hiruzen, like that, like old Hiruzen, I will say.
Oh yeah, that's
maybe
fair.
more-
Yeah.
I kind of have that. You go. I guess if you're including Hokage Kakashi, that's a weird one too.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. I'll go back to that one. But after that, I would just probably have Hiruzen, Tsunade, and then Kakashi. It kind of depends like how you approach that. To be honest
exactly.
with you, like that's the weird thing. Like if you go up Boruto Kakashi, I mean, you could unironically be kind of ratty and like put him over Hashirama off Kashin.
Literally.
My power.
Yeah.
Or if you go off like the War Arc, I think War Arc Kakashi's pretty, it's displayed pretty prominently that he's comparable at least to base Minato. So you could probably like throw him like, he's on par with him. Some people use the feat where he's like reaching with like QB Minato. I personally don't like that feat. I don't think that's enough to say he's QB.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's not good. Yeah,
I don't think it's a good feat at all.
There's actually debunkable shit to prove that Casey Minato's not scaling the fucking Kakashi. So.
Yeah. So it's like I'd probably have him and Tobirama like. That one's a little tougher. I might lean towards Tobi, but I can acknowledge like you can maybe if you go off like the Minato stuff get Kakashi, but that's probably like my way of going about it. It just kind of depends a couple of times. Like the middle placement, like it's always the Tobirama one where you're gonna shuffle around.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Everything else is like pretty cemented. You know what I mean? That's
agreed.
I absolutely agree. Like that's a great, incredible analysis. Once again, just goes to show that you know what you're fucking talking about. But like, and even with here's the thing, I think you're absolutely correct. So a lot of people call me out and say I'm fucking tripping over that. But the reason why with Hiruzen, for one, the data book actually just says Hiruzen surpassed Tobirama. You know what I mean? However you want to take that and interpret what
he's more talented,
Yeah, that's fine. But like the data book says that the narrative kind of hints that like Hiruzen's always kind of just been above Tobirama in a sense. And he eventually gets like a certain status of like being the professor or even like a god of shinobi of his era, blah blah. Tobirama never had that type of reputation. And then not only that, we even see like feats comparison where like Tobirama struggles with water style to cut up the divine trees to save Naruto. Hiruzen comes in and just fucking raw speed and just fucks that shit up with his staff. So it's like. Yeah. I feel like it's definitely safe to say that Hiruzen should be above Tobirama. You know what I mean? And even with the flying Raijin, like he would be able to react accordingly and he'd still be fine. But absolutely.
I would say for my ranking, Hashirama first for sure. If we're not including Naruto. Hashirama with the one shot, there's just a really good premise for Minato being right below him. After that, Prime Hiruzen, I mean, stated in the data book, he's more talented. Yeah. So Prime Hiruzen. Then Tobirama, and like Thunder God said, Kakashi. It all depends on how you interpret like Boruto Kakashi. Like, do you think the novels are canon? Do you think that the novels, when it says that he's significantly superior to his War Arc self, does that include DMS? Because at that point he's number one, only under Naruto. Yeah. So I just keep him there, like right under Tobirama, and then this Tsunade. That's probably what I would say. Obviously, if the novels are canon, and it depends, you can even put him at number one. If you don't include DMS with the statement that's being made in the novels, I'd probably put him like at number 3, around there. Something.
Yeah, I'll be real with you, Jay. Like Tobirama fans are probably gonna hate me, but I'm really not trying to shit on him. But if you analyze him in a way, I actually would still have fucking Hokage Kakashi above Tobirama. And the main reason why is because if we see fucking War Kakashi going blow for blow with V2 transformations,
I was gonna say
that's true.
Over here dying to like some baby juice V2 transformation, I don't know, bro.
So it's interesting because like in the War, like Kakashi is like. He's as fast as he is because he has the Raikiri amp and his speed, and obviously the Sharingan to complement that. But in Boruto, he obviously doesn't have the Sharingan anymore, but he does have access to more chakra as a result. But he's not going to be utilizing the Raikiri to amp his speed to be on par with War feats, right? So that's what gets a little ambiguous. And
I think he's Purple Lightning, which I think works in a similar aspect. I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't.
That's the thing about Kakashi. Like Shinobi's right. Like he loses his Sharingan. What comes with the Sharingan and MS? Well, like enhanced precog, enhanced reaction time. He loses all that. But then the benefit of that is he most likely has a larger chakra pool now. Now that the Sharingan's not like weighing down.
Exactly.
So you could argue like he could do better in a long duration fight. You could argue that maybe some of his arsenal is higher than AP and stuff because he has more chakra to utilize. It's tough. It is tough.
Another thing,
Yeah,
another thing I'll
this
say.
problem literally every video you're talking about. Like when
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're literally the same shit I say all the time.
Yeah.
It's another thing too for Kakashi that you can't argue in favor from, because I know like he doesn't have precognition or whatever, blah blah. But what's actually really interesting, at least Boruto anime only, because I know he technically hasn't made an appearance in the manga yet for a weird reason. But let's say it's just like Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, where the anime is literally the adaptation of the manga, where it's not like separate events are happening or any contract. It's just literally extra detail that is happening in the manga as well, but we just don't see that extra detail.
Yeah.
That's like the only fucking difference. So, but in the Boruto anime, if it's in that similar sense, we see Kakashi fight against this guy called Koji, whatever the fuck his name is.
Kakashi.
That guy. And I don't know anything about him, but I saw him like as a small little clip from Crunchyroll. And I was like, "Ooh, this is cool. It's Kakashi and Boruto. Let me just see this. I'm excited." And all I see is him literally do purple lightning and do speed blitz and shit on him. You know what I mean? So like, I like basically what I get from it is he now has purple lightning, which is the substitute for his Raikuri. And he's still able to use it and just splits people or fuck them up even from a range.
Well,
so the way I
was
see it,
holding back though significantly. I will admit.
Okay, yeah. I don't know all the context.
Yeah.
Against Koji, it was a very short encounter. He was like, I'm gonna dip. Like he didn't really. Rage, but
I know the purple lightning's like a pretty substantial like increase, and at least in terms of power, because I know in the novel like. He literally like creates like a lightning storm just from like shooting that shit in the air.
Literally.
I mean that shit. It was like 6 paths level 2 or some shit in the novel or something like that.
It's like fucking Kirin again. First. Yeah.
He copied that from Madara. Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like so Kakashi, he's strong, man, but it just. So I don't know. I feel like there's just more for Kakashi. Like if I had to actually pick who to debate for, I would more than likely pick Kakashi. I feel like it would be more strong. That's just me though. And then like if the purple lightning somehow amps him in a sense with his speed too as well, then that's even more beneficial. And for some reason he could just do it, you know?
Yeah.
And another way to look at it too, Naruto always uses the Rising Gun. The Rising Gun is basically just like Chidori. The only difference is the Rising Gun doesn't amp his fucking speed. Naruto doesn't have a Sharingan yet. You see him being able to still, fight people and clash, and he doesn't need a Sharingan to dodge, blah, blah. Yeah. So to say that Kakashi would still be fucked, you could argue for him in ways and aspects, So that's just me.
It's contentious regardless of the premise you choose. But
I'm curious, CG, like who do you think would win between War, Kakashi, and Tobirama?
Oh man, that's the topic.
That's tough.
Spicy.
It's hard, but yeah.
It's weird, right? Too, because like Tobirama, that gets into like the whole Kamui thing, which is like its own like micro.
That shit is broken. Yeah,
it's crazy. I could definitely let's say I'm like Kishimoto like right in this fight. Like I could see a situation where like he shoots Kamui at Tobirama, like Tobirama has a kunai. I think probably it definitely that type of fight is probably like off rip goes for one or the other, because Tobirama also does have some tactics he can use, like Bringer of Darkness, if you give him that, because in the manga he doesn't do it, in the anime he does it, so don't give him
the manga would be correct. He would have it. I agree. He would have Bringer of Darkness,
so it's like maybe he can do that in Blind Kakashi. It's a little tough. I will say, the Sage Mode Madara feat is a really good showing. But at the same time, Kakashi also does have like showings when like Madara is kicking like Minato's arm at him, and he's still able to like Kamui away like Minato's arm before he even takes damage from the Rasengan, which is pretty absurd. So he definitely does he also does have some pretty decent.
Yeah, his jutsu activation speed with Kamui is cracked. It's insane. Like what he does in the war arc, because like his body's not to that speed, but his jutsu Kamui activation is just crazy. Like where he's literally in sync with KCM2 fucking Naruto and shit, and you name it. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and there's a contentious aspect behind the speed, of course, too. Yeah.
It really come down to that, like which
he's
premise
not
is argued better.
KCM1 or KCM2 Naruto. I'm not saying that. I'm saying his Kamui is definitely in that territory. And you even kind of see that even throughout Shippuden, where with the Sasano arrow from Sasuke, like his body's not fast like that, but his jutsu activation is. You know? What I mean?
Really.
So
there's definitely evidence for both sides. It's a very like contentious. It depends who can argue.
It's interesting. Yeah.
It depends who can substantiate their premise better. It's tough.
Like the way I see it, it's either Tobirama kills him with Flying Raijin, or Kakashi kills him with Kamui. That's the way I basically see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Steven again with €2. Appreciate it. Any of you watch football? European? No, I watch football, but not European. No.
Not European, man.
AJ, you should make did you make a video on that already, bro? My bad. I'm not meaning
not at all.
You should do that. That'll be a fire video, bro. Tobirama versus Kakashi.
it's just something about like those two characters that like
they got the hair and everything, bro. The drip, like that'd be a solid video, bro. You should do that shit.
It's the type of thing where like for videos, you know, I get like there's some type of videos where like I'll have to repeat stuff, and I really don't like doing that just because it gets repetitive and it makes videos. But then like. Then people will comment about what I ask, like, why didn't you bring this up? And it's like, bro, I've already said this.
bro. I
about that, but I can't. So it's like, it's that type of thing. Like, I've already talked about those two characters so much. Like, I have like, there's certain matchups where I have like zero incentive. One video I do want to do because I have a lot of updated thoughts. Neji versus Sasuke in the tuning.
Oh shit, dude, you gotta do that. You gotta do that shit.
I'm
Wait,
not gonna
what video did you say, TG?
I want to redo Neji versus Sasuke in the tuning exam.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I will say this, because my opinions have changed. I think on this platform, like YouTube, there's not that much good. Like there's not good Neji representation. I'm not gonna lie.
No, there's not.
Aside,
I'd be gassing up Neji though in part 1. I don't know if you ever seen some of the shit I've been having, TG, but I'll be giving him the credit when it's due though. So I don't shit on him all the time.
No, he's gas.
Yeah.
And it's the type of thing. Like I do understand why like people get tight when they just hear like Sasuke wins all the time, because it's like, you know, you got Swag saying it, you got Six saying it, and then when like everybody else says it, it's like, dude, like I understand. So that's something I want to update, because I also think that fight is not like black and white as a lot of people make it out to be. I kind of think it's similar to like Itachi versus Nagato, where like it kind of depends on like maybe certain phases of the fight or something like that, or how certain things. So
I agree.
I did like a tuning exam ranking, and it is Neji. It is interesting, how that fight would go. There's a lot of variables that have to be like considered.
The most interesting thing I thought about when it came to Neji in part, because I didn't know this, and I'm not gonna act like I fucking knew this off the rip. I actually found out this from King Bullet, from a certain video. But in the data books, there is a data book statement that says where all of them actually gathered together to discuss all the tuning exam participants, and they said who is actually the strongest, and they said Neji. Which was really surprising. They didn't say it was Sasuke or fucking Naruto or fucking Gaara or all this other shit. They said Neji was the strongest for some reason. And it was the Hokage along with all the Jonin discussing this shit. That was really interesting to me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a data book statement, but it's interesting. It's really interesting.
Neji is one of the most like interesting guys to scale in the Chunin, that's for sure. I think Jiraiya is above Heavy Sasuke easily. I would say Sage Mode Jiraiya more than likely,
I say Sage Mode.
Base is a little stable, but Sage Mode is pretty different.
Yeah, base against CS2 Sasuke, I think he'd have trouble. Yeah.
I doubt it, man.
Hiruzen over Tobirama. Prime Hiruzen probably.
Prime probably.
Yeah. Does MS grant you greater reaction speed like Itachi swapping hands with KCM Naruto and just 3 Tomoe? The argument I would use for why it probably does is we see him against KCM Naruto. Obviously, you got to like quantify how much effort Itachi's using. Like, is he going all out, swapping hands? But then we see like this increase in speed when he, some people don't agree, but when he intercepts Nagato with the Susanoo arm, and he's using his MS there. So that kind of implies like he got a boost in stats, if anything. It's not concrete.
It's a big element.
It's not concrete scaling, but that's like a implication.
My it's funny because I agree, but I have like a different way of like saying that. So I use the Sage Mode Kabuto fight. Now that fight's like
thank you. Yes.
It's interesting because like Sasuke at one point in the fight, because he's pretty much able to react like everything Itachi is, but he turns off his EMS, like he just turns it off and goes back to his basic Sharingan.
Yeah.
And Itachi with his Mangekyo can blatantly just react to like the inorganic reanimation that Sasuke can't.
Yeah.
And then like they proceed to keep fighting on equal footing. So it kind of like implies like, oh. And it's a weird scene because like why would you like turn that off right when your opponent's like, right in front of you?
That is weird.
And it's like supplemented by the fact that like he right after that scene he just turns it back on. So I agree. I just like my own like little like tidbit.
That would also reinforce it. That's
and
true.
Also like when Kabuto puts him in like a genjutsu, like Itachi's able to react in time to manifest the Susanoo around Sasuke before he can then impale him essentially or capture him too. So that was really impressive.
Yeah, it's just implied that the MS does it like boosts your stats. Yeah, when you see like how
it's reactionary.
It's what I will always say, like, to just be fair to both sides, like, I feel like there's still a vague element to it because we never get anything definitively where, like, flat out, this boosts all your fucking stats or some shit, when there's clear, like, clear implications like either Sage mode, you know, or fucking Tail Beast, you know, kind of boosting you up and whatnot. So when it comes to it, it really depends on like your perception of it, and to where basically what's the stronger evidence, right? Impossibility wise, and that's just the main gist of it. Yeah. And like the only really thing you can do against it in favor is take the whole Rock Lee statement and like it doesn't matter what the fuck you can see or whatever, if your body's too weak, then it doesn't matter. So meaning your body doesn't necessarily scale to your fucking, you know, a dojutsu or visual prowess. Like you actually got to train that shit for it to keep up with that. So once again, it just kind of depends on how you kind of go with all of it. You see examples of Killer Bee, Rock Lee, etc. with Sasuke, you name it. So it's because like he's over here using 3 Tomo and he's getting bitched on. And it's like, bro, why don't you use your fucking MS? You know what I mean? Like if it's that much of a boost stats, use your fucking MS and fuck him up then. You know,
that point he wasn't. But at that point he wasn't really good with it either, though. He was like very new to it.
True, yeah, true. He just acquired it, yeah. And so, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I would say when it is illustrated, even not even just MS, when Tomoes are increased, you see like differences in performance, like with Sasuke against Naruto in the Valley End.
Final Valley, yeah.
Like you see how the illustration, like he's doing better now that he has 3 Tomoe. It's like it's implied.
Yeah, because that precog was massive.
Yeah. Now MS, you see like what does Madara use when he fights Hashirama his best? He uses MS, Susanoo, uses all this shit, and what do Uchihas usually use when they're trying to be at their best? Usually MS.
Yeah. It is blatantly and definitive that the precog does get greater. It's just blatantly stated. And that the chakra is more powerful too. So that is a blatant thing in the eye, at least that we do know. And with the precog, because Sasuke even says it, you know, as well. And then we literally see that in the Killer Bee fight, where like instead of him using 3 Tomo, he had to fucking activate his MS to dodge out of the fucking lariat hit.
Yeah.
So like it just, you know, there's clear things. With the stat boost, it's interesting. I'll say it's contentious, but if you have to say and choose the higher possibility, a lot of people nowadays would definitely say it does increase your stats.
Yeah.
So
I have Hiruzen above Tobirama. Only the fact that the data book stated Hiruzen had better potential. Yeah. Prime Hiruzen above Tobirama. I think Tobirama is more impressive than Old Man Hiruzen. That's fair. Prime Minato versus Prime Hiruzen. Probably before the retcon, post retcon, after like Kishimoto didn't use Hiruzen's the best Hokage. Probably Minato.
Yeah.
The god of shinobi.
Yeah.
I've heard the take that like because you know Prime Hiruzen's like statements are reputation based. Because most people probably haven't seen Hashirama Sage mode because he only really whipped out against Madara.
Yeah.
The argument would extend just to base Hashirama too.
That's a good point.
I've seen, like,
yeah. That would make sense.
You know,
too.
it just depends.
Yeah, that would make perfect sense, actually. Yeah, that's actually that's very possible.
I have a hard time seeing Prime Hiruzen being faster than Tobirama. Just being honest, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I can see him being more talented. Obviously, he's an exceptionally like well-rounded shinobi, but it's hard for me to see he's faster. Yeah. You know?
I just feel like he has the feats, though. That's why I'm always on the side that he could be faster than Tobirama. It's because he always just performs better in every fucking situation. Like when they get to the battlefield, Hiruzen's there, not Tobirama. Hiruzen gets there, then Tobirama. And when it comes to saving Naruto, Hiruzen can do it, Tobirama can't. Like so, I don't know. That's just me, but I get it though. It's not crazy though.
Yeah. What's going on, Morgan? Thanks for coming in. Let's see. Any questions here? I can see that. I think Tobirama might have better reactions than Hiruzen. We just never see Hiruzen at his best, though. You could argue that Hiruzen in his prime had better like reaction time. Flying Raijin he doesn't have, but you could argue reaction. Neji versus Rock Lee chewing exams. Oh, that's another one that people debate, dude.
Man.
Yeah. Neji versus Rock Lee. Empirically, Neji starts to seem concerned, I think, after the 4th gate, when Rock Lee's like, I have these gates for you. I mean, you see how he's like sweating in the panel, and he's like, oh shit. And it seems implied that he's like, oh, this is a threat. So you could use that as an argument that he's above Neji, 4th gate or above. I think anything below the 4th gate, he gets his ass whooped by Neji, like he always says he does. That's what I would say.
Guy even thinks like, and Guy's a foul teacher for this, but he literally like is like, yeah, this is what is needed to beat Neji. So he's keep training one of the students to beat the other one.
Exactly. It's like he clearly has a favorite. Like
that time.
Yeah, he clearly has a favorite. Like it's obvious you like Rock Lee more, dude. Like come on, man. Let's see.
Because he's the only one willing to put on that attire, probably.
Yeah. Wear that weird fucking like green jumpsuit.
Horrible, man.
Yeah, no drip at all.
The eyebrows, dude.
No drip.
No drip.
Do you think any of the 4 Hokage knew that Sasuke already had the MS, or did they just think he had MS? I don't know if that was even on their mind. whether he had EMS.
They just saw like it wasn't the standard, patterns.
Yeah.
Ironically, Madara is the only one who actually noticed based on Sasuke's like fine movements. He's like, oh yeah, your Sharingan, it's like mine. So
yeah,
I would make the argument they just might have just thought it was just a Magikyo Sharingan, as they just wouldn't have seen the original design. But we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
That's
yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it rationally, like I don't think that's on their mind while they're fucking fighting Madara. But yeah. How would Edo Minato, Tobirama, and Hiruzen fare up against Edo Madara? And how would Hashirama fare with helping Naruto and Sasuke with Jibito? Do you think they would do well in their reverse roles? So Edo Minato, Tobirama, and Hiruzen fare up against Edo Madara. Well, it all depends on how you scale Minato. If you use like the one shot and highball him, like, and he's like you already like Hokage Minato's even above Hashirama or whatever, then he probably would be Madara. And seal him or something. Yeah. I'm sure he has a seal. He's one of the best Funjutsu practitioners of all time. So it depends on how you scale Minato. If he has KCM too, then there's a really good chance they beat Madara.
Yeah, and Sage.
If it's EMS Madara, because he doesn't have wood style to fucking stop him or suppress him. He only has a fucking Susanoo, and we already know how crazy Team Minato is. He's over here fucking fighting the full fucking Nine Tails, pulling a feat that Hashirama does and just base with his wood golem. You know what I mean? So it's like, and arguably even a better durability feat than both of them, because they both always have to use wood style and Susanoo to protect themselves, while Minato, he's over here just flat out surviving that shit with his arm recoil, the explosion and everything, you know?
Yeah, so as far as that, Tobirama and Hiruzen wouldn't really be a factor. They might help a little, but Madara is like significantly superior. Yeah. Minato would be like
old Hiruzen.
He'd be the big, especially if it's old Hiruzen. He ain't shit, man. I mean, he's struggling with fucking Orochimaru, so.
Like the best way to gauge it is like Minato is either he's in that ballpark with EMS Hashirama, not EMS Hashirama and fucking an EMS Madara, but he's not stronger than them, but he can at least be a threat to them, but he loses or he is above.
That's high. Yeah, the highest I could scale Hokage Minato is like. Yeah, probably like somewhere in between like KCM1, KCM2. I don't know if he beats Sage Mode Hashirama, but I think he's like
Sage Mode. I don't know about that.
He's like he's in rare air, but I don't know if he's that high.
You agree too, right, TG? Like Sage Mode Hashirama would beat his ass.
No question.
Yeah. It's just there's not.
Don't get me wrong, his rising guns are fucking strong.
There's still not enough empirically, even with the one shot. Like he was able to go against a partially developed Bijou Kurama bomb, but that's not enough to imply like, oh, Hokage Minato would slam Sage Mode Hashirama, who literally ragdolled fucking Kurama, so and Madara, both of them. So
if Six was like speaking for Minato in his defense, I know Six would probably say something like fucking Minato would just use his ceiling against Hashirama's wood shit and just make it go away, and he'd be like fuck you, and then kill him or some shit. But that's like the best way you can kind of go around, because ceilings is
his speed broken. His speed and his ceiling would be the most
speed and ceiling, but his rising god wouldn't do shit against Hashirama.
Nah, I mean if it's tanking fucking Kurama Bijou bombs, I doubt the Rasengan would go through it. But I would say exactly, and I think that his the best chance Minato has is like putting one of the tags on him and like flying rising behind him or something.
Ceiling. It would just be ceiling. That's the only...
ceiling would be
that's and then you have to argue speed and stuff like that, which is a whole different a whole different thing. You seriously think that the Boruto time skip will be as good as people are saying? I'm waiting for the people hyping it up to be disappointed. It's going to be super satisfying. I have high hopes, but I'm biased because I want Boruto to succeed, but I do think it's going to be at least good. I don't think it's going to be a failure or anything, but I do have high hopes for it. Let's say that for the Boruto time skip.
Oh, another thing too, Chiji, I'm loving the length of your videos lately too. Because a lot of people do not do that. They be like just making it like super short, like 5-8 minutes or 20, 30 max, 40. Like, I have to respect that shit, because a lot of people don't like it's a no-winning situation. It's either they want something short or they do want it long. You know what I mean? So it's hard.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was trying that out, and I've noticed that like most people just find out that the concise discussions aren't enough to get to the truth of the matter. So I've been testing it out all the videos a bit longer. People love it, so I'm like, you
can give more evidence. Yeah, you can give more content.
You could just like make I could kind of talk about each interpretation to kind of make it fair. I don't just, it becomes more of an open discussion. So I thank you for saying that, because I've seen a couple people say that and they've just been enjoying it.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. Most people don't. And the thing is, you don't even have to go that intensive on the editing, because people are like, oh, I just kind of rock with this like kind of a podcast style.
Yeah,
like, obviously,
that's what it is in anything, really. Even with Swag and Six and you name it, everybody. You know what I mean? It's you're just listening to the content creator, you know?
Yeah, basically what it is. And long content, like, it's a little bit more tedious to edit, but it's worth it because it's like you can be more thorough and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you can be way more transparent and thorough and analyze really the majority of it. You name it. It allows you to be equitable as well for certain things that could have contentious value.
Like,
it's really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like my style, like I've changed. I've like changed the way I make videos. Before I used to be as logical as possible, like as concise as possible, but I feel like I eliminate like how thorough I could be with certain things. Like I miss certain things because I'm trying to be extremely.
And some people can get mad. Yeah, some people can get mad at that because they're like, where they could be like, oh well, I feel like this particular thing you were speaking of needs just way more elaboration or this or this or that because. Yeah, I mean, and that's where it can be a con. Yeah,
and that's why I try to do videos for like discussion more than anything. Not like I like being logical as possible, but like discussions are
like unless it's like blatantly definitive as like like comparing like Madara to kid soccer or some shit. You know what I mean? Then obviously we required fucking an hour long or something.
That's why I do like the discussion videos for sure. Sir Goats with $5. Thanks, Sir Goats. Can you put one of my drawings on your screen?
Sir W.
One of your drawings.
Depends, let's see it.
Yeah, let me see it. And,
right?
That's crazy.
What's going on, Random? Thanks for coming in.
Jay, 8 had another interview, by the way.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, he did another one. I was like, God damn, how many interviews you doing, bro?
He's been all over. I gotta go. Have a nice time. Thanks for coming in, Morgan.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Morgan.
Are Tobirama's Edo's weaker than Part 1 Orochimaru's, or do we just not? Yeah, they are. Orochimaru even like says he's improved the jutsu. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. And those were weak as hell.
And Kabuto, Kabuto optimized it in the war, and then Orochimaru kind of optimized it too when he reanimated the Hokage. So.
Yeah, he just said it verbatim. Like before, I had made you nowhere near your power. Now I literally made you close to your power.
Yeah.
He just says it.
Sage Kabuto slaps Orange Mask Obito. I don't know about that, but
I don't know about slaps, bro.
How do you guys scale Jiraiya?
Let's be real, bro. With the one-shot minute something that even kind of upscales Obito in a sense, and even harder. And it's like, do you really think? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Obito's already like KCM1 speed when he's 14 years old. Yeah. Plus he has he's a Nami more than likely as well. But Kabuto has like Edo Tensei and shit.
Yeah,
dude.
him as a grown ass man. Like I don't think Sage Kabuto would slap him though.
No.
That's a good matchup though, because Sage Kabuto is like kind of weird, but he's pretty strong. Like
he is strong. He has like a lot of like blind. He has like blinding attacks and stuff like that. Yeah, it's definitely weird stuff.
Oh yeah, the Genjutsu, dude. Yeah, that'd be horrible.
I do think like Orange Mask Obito and Kabuto would be a very, very like it's an interesting match because it's just interesting to evaluate it. You know what I mean? Like Kabuto pulls up on him or whatever, and like Obito's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up, and then he does like all his Edos of the Akatsuki, and Obito's still like acting like he doesn't give a fuck. And then he's about to like pull up on him, and then he pulls out Madara to be like, all right, do you care now? You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But then when you have Sage Kabuto analyze all his feats and all his shit, he can do whatever. It's like, I don't know, man.
So the main thing I fall to is that Obito is he's somewhat of a hard counter because it's weird, right? Like for example, like a big thing like people talk about is like white extreme attack, like the little flashbang and stuff. I always tell people like I don't think that would be that useful, and like we kind of have a 1-to-1 because like. When the Ten Tails is about to unleash like the Tenpachi, like the Cataclysm, it does like a paralyzing scream to the Shinobi Alliance. Yeah, Obito's just chilling. Like, what is this? Like, what like he's like that Ten Tails.
Yeah, Kabuto just makes him like a fucking god. He's just like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
How do you guys scale Jiraiya? Because I hear constant bullshit takes like Sage Jiraiya stronger than War, Kakashi, beats Itachi. It doesn't beat Itachi, that's for sure.
No, he's not beating Itachi, bro.
Beat strong Asani, nearly beat pain people. What? As far as Jiraiya, at the peak of his powers,
like
he's inferior to Pain. I think he'd lose to people like Kisame. Definitely Part 2 Kisame. He'd probably even lose to Sasori with the Hanzo scaling.
I was about to say, yeah, exactly.
Data, I mean, there's a possibility he might give him a run for his money.
I can see him being Data.
Like Data is probably like the most powerful Akatsuki he could beat. I don't see him going any higher than that, to be honest. So, but yeah, he's not beating Itachi. War Kakashi. I mean, War Kakashi's like reacting to V2 Jinchurikis at this point. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like you guys gotta think about it this way. Like Jiraiya is strong. Like he's really strong, but he has his limits. You know, like the best argument you could ever really have for Jiraiya is his mental fortitude that could be able to get him to outrageous levels of fucking scaling. And we've kind of seen that twice technically, where against Nagato, where he's like for one brief moment because of getting mentally amped, he's actually able to speed blitz and do some shit. Thank you, baby. And then fucking what's it called? And then not only that, like there's another moment where if you want to consider this into like some form of validation or whatever the case may be, in the Boruto anime, it's just fucking crazy. I don't get it, but he's able to fight against the alien dude, Irishiki, fused and non-fused, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Thank God that's not canon.
So it's like, but all I'm basically getting with it is that's the only thing you could ever do in any sense to even get Jiraiya to somehow pass these types of fucking characters. That's the only argument. And that there's fucking nothing. There's an abundance amount of the contrary that he just is not on those levels. You know what I mean? It's that simple.
I sent it to you, Jay. Oh, let me see. All right,
I don't know if you saw that shit, but that was outrageous. I was getting out of my chair. I was like, what in the fucking blasphemy is fucking going on?
Yeah, that's definitely canon. That's definitely not canon. Yeah, that's definitely.
It was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Sir Goats, because you've been a goat for a long time. I'll put your picture on for like a few minutes. Give me that.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. Let me find it real quick and put it on. Where is it at?
It's kind of interesting how Kakashi and Koji is so strong as well. I know he's perfected Sage Mode despite Jiraiya not being able to, but does that put him in like such a higher league or tier compared to Jiraiya?
He is the way he's illustrated is even Delta like feared him. Like when he went into the village, he told Delta like, "You better back the fuck up. I'm gonna go in. Don't even move." And she kind of just conceded, implying she's inferior. He's really fucking broken, man. Like he's not. Yeah. I mean, Jigen whipped his ass, but he's broken. You know.
He arguably fights the strongest version of Ishiki, because like Ishiki he's degrading pretty much every minute. He's degrading his lifespan. So you can make an argument like his performance. He's literally fighting the most peak Ishiki we'll ever see too. So it's pretty. That's true. It is pretty insane.
Exactly.
Who are you guys talking about? Because I haven't, mind you, I'm not that far. But what character are you talking about? Apparently he does something crazy against that dude.
Who's a clone of Jiraiya as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a better version of Jiraiya. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That kind of makes sense why he looks like Jiraiya, because fucking there is a point where I saw this little short clip of him. It was a while ago though. It was when and this is when I wasn't being careful to avoid, because then you get fucking spoiled, unfortunately. Yeah. But when it came to him, it was a small clip of him bullying a lot of people, and I'm like, this motherfucker looks like fucking Jiraiya. What the fuck? And then when I started watching Boruto and I see him in the little clan meeting where I don't really know anything about him, but he's kind of taking some authority vibes and whatnot to help out the leader Jigen. Literally just looking at him in his face, I'm like, bro, wait a minute, is Kishimoto about to do some is Kishimoto about to do something fucking crazy? No way this guy's Jiraiya, you know what I mean? That's funny. Now that you just say he's Jiraiya, that's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see. I think Obito is bluffing. He's not beating all the Akatsuki there at once. I don't know. Oh, you mean when Kabuto shows him his hand and shows all the Akatsuki? Is he bluffing? I mean, I don't think he'd slam. I don't know. I don't think he'd slam all of them, but I don't think he. Clearly, there's an emotional reaction when he sees Madara. He's like, "Oh fuck, this guy's here."
What if Obito just used Izanami on Kabuto, bro, and just ends it right there?
He could, technically, he could have tried to do that, yeah. But
he knows about both of them. He does. He knows about both.
What's next for Thunder God's channel? That's what Nayo asked.
Oh God, I'm trying to figure that too, bro.
They trying to pressure you right now, bro. They're like, "Hey, we got you here, man. Yeah, come on."
They're pressing you.
I definitely. I mean, I want to do this after I hit 20K. God willing, I hit that soon. But it's just I want to start getting into some of these series, to be honest, just because at that point, a lot of people have been asking me, and I do want to talk about other stuff at some point.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's and I'm really fortunate that I'm able to do that. So that's probably the goal. Just dive into other series. I already have a bunch of videos planned for next month too. That'll get that. But yeah.
That's dope.
EG, I'm telling you right now, brother. Don't ever doubt yourself. You're definitely hitting that 20K soon.
Oh yeah,
like, don't even say it, bro. You're gonna be getting, if anything, you're gonna be getting to 30 to 40K gradually within that spectrum, and then you'll keep climbing like the snowball effect. But yeah, you're not fucking 15, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Jiraiya fighting Oroshiki would also upscale everyone else in an endless loop. Yeah. What? Fucking One Tail Naruto would be above fucking like.
Dude, oh my god,
above like Jubidara.
Like, I know the argument people say too is like you would never be able to prove like that Jiraiya is the same one from the canon Naruto timeline. Like it would just have to be a different one, or else like everybody else would get upscaled as a result. Like
and then it would contradict. It would contradict like the entire war arc. Like Jubidara would be fodder to everybody at that point.
But Thunder God, he fought using Irishiki.
Yeah, literally.
So,
never mind. I just didn't remember. Jiraiya could probably reach Datara with his hair. Oh yeah, his hair.
Yeah, his hair go hard, bro. Yeah, bro. Definitely.
I think Jiraiya personally just beats up Datara. That's just me. But what's it called? But I don't think he's gonna struggle with someone like Datara. But that's just me.
Could the
story though?
Yeah, he probably loses to him.
It's a story. Yeah, he probably loses.
It's a little difficult.
He probably loses to him. Like I know people will even get mad at that, but I do think Sasori could take that.
But he lost to Sakura.
Could the Mystery Gang find the One Piece? I mean, the Mystery Gang, dude, they're cartoon.
You're right, Shinobi.
They're forces of Toon nature, so yeah, they could probably find anything. Scooby-Doo. Literally.
Dude, I doubt the Mystery Gang beating up people like Kaido or like the Emperor. So they're getting freaking obliterated.
I think fucking Shaggy would be like, today I feel like I could beat some pirates, and then he'll be whipping One Piece's ass just because he feels like it. But the cartoons.
Are you guys One Piece fans by any chance? I'm just curious.
I am.
I haven't read it, but I want to read it eventually.
What's the question?
I'm like. No, I was asking if you guys were One Piece fans. Like, how?
I have not seen it, brother.
I am, dude. I'm still watching it currently. I'm very into the series, honestly. I think
there's like 2,000 plus episodes, bro. I'm reading the manga.
1,000?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it, bro. Fuck that.
I'm on and off. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like it's gone too deep to where like if I start, I'm never gonna make it.
Bro.
Like, I feel like I'm gonna see this dude find the One Piece before I actually finish the manga.
Yeah,
I'm keeping up.
I started watching it like when I was in high school, man. So I just kept watching it all these years.
It's so fucking long, dude. It's like a goddamn fucking it's a whole like life.
I think some of the characters are badass, bro. Like if you like Bleach, you're gonna like Zoro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Zoro's cool.
Zoro is dope, bro.
He seems cool,
man.
Yeah. Obito can't use Izanami. Only people who know their true selves can use Izanami. Obito is explicitly paralleled with Kabuto when he gives his speech about how they lost their true selves. Okay. Datara with his micro bombs takes out a lot of characters with no dojutsu. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The microscopic bombs would be trouble for a lot of people. Yeah.
I'm sure if Jiraiya had Mom and Pa, they could probably sense them, though. To be honest.
Yeah. Any advice for making videos in general from Thunder God?
Drop a video if you have it, and don't worry about the first video. Like, drop a video because most people don't get past the first step, and then try and improve like 1% each upload, like just in some aspect, whether that be editing, your script writing, your presentation, your quality, and just keep going like that. And over the course of a couple months to a year, like you'll be growing as a result, and your content will just be improving. That's what I recommend, because most people don't even get past the first video.
Yeah,
like that's what stops them.
Yeah.
Or they get into some sort of preparation paralysis, or they put too much work into the first video. It doesn't do well. They get demotivated and stop.
Absolutely.
That's also a big thing.
That's so true. Like, I was definitely in that spot too. Like when I used to make videos and like they did terrible, I was like, God damn, bro. But I just had to keep making them. Yeah, I had to keep making them, keep making them. I was like, all right, here's a little bit of traction. Just keep making them. So.
It matters, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a gradual thing. Unless you're like fucking Rice Gum and blow up to like 1 million subs in 1 month, like it's gonna be a gradual thing,
Yeah.
So, Datara, I just read that. What if Jiraiya did not train Nagato and just left him? Obito
probably would have died.
Yeah. If he never at all, they probably would have died in Rain Village, probably.
Yeah.
Thunder God, what if the movie villains appeared in the main canon of Naruto? The movie villains?
Oh. Oh, so I know what he's talking about because I did a video like ranking the movie villains and I like related it to like the series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of them are like pretty like the first 3 movies, all pretty much like the main villains are like comparable to like Kakashi or like Naruto can combat them. For the first couple in the Naruto Shippuden, they're pretty like that mid tier, like that midpoint in like Naruto Shippuden when they're fighting Kakuzu, like Heavy Sasuke is going around.
Yeah.
They're pretty much comparable to that. Like the Rasen Shuriken's a big feat. After that, when you get to Road to Ninja, there's an absurd power clipping in the form of like Menma, which is like evil Naruto, who like he pretty much is like a mastered full like Nine Tails Jinchuriki. He can 1v1s the Akatsuki. He has like better Sage mode than Naruto, and he's like pretty much doing all of this at the same time. So he's like an end war arc character that they introduced. And then like he's pretty much like the strongest, and then like after that was the last. So it's pretty absurd. But they'd be able to do it most of it. Just kind of depends like when they drop them in the series. That's more so it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little shaky on the movies. It's been a while since I've seen most of them.
If you drop Toneri in part 1, that's obliteration. Dude.
Oh man,
Yeah.
there is no story anymore. Shit is,
a lot of the movies aren't that good, but you could tell like there was a lot of Kishimoto wanting to integrate like a bit of technology into the series, and you do see that in the movies. Like there's a bunch of like puppets, like gears, like certain points that came in. You could tell like these were a lot of scrapped ideas from that. But yeah, there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them, but yeah, I need to rewatch most of them. Let's see. He's not losing to Sasori. Jiraiya's whooping that puppet's ass. Jiraiya gets stronger since the days of Hanzo. Dude, he was still surprised that Hanzo died, even as a grown man when he found out Pain killed him. He was still shocked by it.
No one could have beaten him. How is he dead?
He literally was like, "How the fuck is that possible? Like, who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah, it's Sasori scales above Hanzo, scales above the third, which are blatantly above Sonic collectively too. So I mean, the man's actually that guy.
More than likely, Sasori would beat him. Yeah, at his best. Yeah. Let's see. I'm not an OP.
I'll be honest. I could play devil's advocate on that. To be honest with you, like I'm not speaking as for transparency of like who I actually would pick to win the fight. But I will say, like, if you want to play devil's advocate, you know what I mean? What he really has in the bag is tons of statements as for his line of scaling, and I mean consistency-wise, and then also just a blatant feat and statement, once again, like Jay said, with the Jiraiya issue with Hanzo the Salamander. You know what I mean? So whatnot, which kind of makes it harder to argue that, meaning they were way weaker or whatever, or at least not similar power, yada yada. So when you go along that direction for Sasori, that's where it gets really bad for Jiraiya. But the only way to approach it where Sasori is like not that capable, and maybe all these statements are a bunch of like exaggeration or some bullshit, is if you start analyzing Sasori's performance against Orochimaru and yada yada and blah blah. That's the only way where you can kind of try to grasp and show that Sasori really isn't about that.
Yeah.
But it's I feel like there's way more evidence.
If you really want to downplay Sasori, you just hyperanalyze a Sakura fight. And just be like, oh, she reacted to him.
That too. Yeah.
That'd be like the rattiest way to downscale him. Like, oh, he lost to Sakura.
Ratty, yeah.
He lost to Sakura, so how would Jiraiya beat him?
And if anything, that's technically not even Sakura. It's Shield controlling her body, meaning that like it's Shield's speed of puppet speed, not her actual speed.
That's like the most, probably like the rattiest way would be like using Sakura fight. Yeah. Sasori is top 5 Akatsuki. Yeah, I think he is. I think he'd be underneath Kisame. Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
I don't
think
Sasori
was able to beat that one. Who was it? The third Kazekage, right? And just kill him somehow.
Yeah,
who's the strongest Kazekage out of all of them?
He slayed the Kazekage. Yeah.
Yeah, he killed him.
That book says it was like a tough fight too. My bad, Jay, but it was like because some people argue like surprise attack, like maybe he jumped in with poison.
Oh, really? It was a good fight. Wow, I didn't know that.
That book actually goes ahead. I can send it to you after if you want, but he basically says like, it was a hard battle, like he was a tough opponent. So it applies like
that shit. Okay, because I was always hearing that from people like, oh, it had to be off guard or something. Whatever.
Yeah.
I would love to see that scan as well.
Yeah,
which I could still argue against that and be like, I don't think that's the correct interpretation, blah blah blah, because of all this empirical evidence, yada yada. But okay, that's awesome, interesting. That's crazy. He was able to beat that motherfucker with just puppets. Then what?
Me and Thunder God have been debating Data versus Gamabunta on every live.
Bro,
I swear people bring their bad shit to my live, bro, and just want my like. Leave me alone. But yeah, we have. Steven's great.
Yeah, debating's fun, but it's interesting sometimes.
Bunta's just nonchalantly tanking C3 bombs. Like, oh, whatever. You know, I got this, dude.
Like we know bare minimum Data is like fucking what was it C4? I always confuse all his C shit. You know what I mean? His C4, the suicide thing, is able to kill the summonings. Like now it doesn't kill it immediately because to be fair, Mondo is still alive. He did tank it to a degree. But what's it called? But like it kills them no matter what, right? You know what I mean? They will die. We do know that bare minimum. But for all his other C explosions, it's interesting. I mean, it is interesting. So
yeah. Thoughts on the Noodles arguments for Tobirama over Minato? I don't really know his arguments. I haven't really listened, to be honest. What's your guys' favorite non-animated TV show? Non-animated, like real IRL? That's a good question.
Oh, non-animated IRL. Daredevil. Daredevil was fucking great.
That's really good.
Oh my god.
Like
it was
best?
Game of Thrones until the last season or like the last couple.
Yeah. The best.
You really can't go about Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think Breaking Bad to me might be.
Walking Dead's really good.
Dude, Narcos, bro.
Oh shit.
That shit was amazing.
Yeah, I think Breaking Bad might be the best I've ever seen.
Punisher. Hey, what about TG? Punisher was really fucking good.
Punisher was good too. Yeah.
Great.
Happy with those. Yeah.
Yeah, probably for me, probably Breaking Bad. Yeah, I think that's the best show I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie.
You guys are gonna hate me, but I've actually never seen that Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's fucking good.
Wow.
It's fucking good. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
like,
it's
legit.
yeah, it's really good.
Better Call Saul was a good show, dude. Yeah, it's a great show.
Narcos is pretty.
Hey,
good,
what'd you say? It's a Breaking Bad. You said it's what it's called.
Breaking Bad, yeah.
Breaking Bad, yeah.
Okay.
It's really fucking good to be honest. The whole story like immersed into it until the very end. So.
Also, I don't know if you guys have seen Ozark. That's a solid ass show too.
I've heard about it.
Heard that's good. Yeah, I haven't.
It's really good, man. Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, I haven't really watched IRL shows lately. Been more like anime and shit like that. I haven't really had a chance to watch IRL stuff, but yeah.
Anime's heat right now, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Sasori's feats are far better than people give him credit for. I've analyzed and disproved all of his anti-feat. I remember when Batman was reacting to Jay reacting to Swag versus Noodles on Kakashi versus Pain.
Okay, that shit was funny. That was a good video, yeah.
Jay was like, if you're 100%, no one's gonna say you're disheveled.
Dishonest, yeah. Like Noodles, like no, he has to be at 100%. You know, even though Kakashi was like, oh, this motherfucker's fatigued.
I remember that.
And they go into the semantics of disheveled as well. It's like, come on, man.
That was definitely.
I'll say you guys are really good when reacting to stuff. Like I've seen like Batman Jay. I've seen you guys like react. Like it's so easy, and like I'm sure you guys know from like making your own videos. Like it's so easy to like pick shit apart and like micro pieces.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Yes. So like, and it like a lot of people like won't understand it until you go ahead and like go behind the process and like make a video. Then you have like that understanding, and you're like, bro, I'm not gonna sit here and be a jackass and just pick apart like everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel that heavy, bro. You don't have to go that far, man. Yeah.
You don't. For the most part, and most importantly, I'm gonna be honest with it. If I'm reacting to somebody I like, you know what I mean, I'm not gonna go crazy hard. You know what I mean, like as compared to if I'm reacting to someone that's been a dick to me. You know what I mean? Then no, fuck that. Free reign, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be very nitpicky, or if there's something that could be contended, I'll be like, nah, fuck you, blah blah. You know what I mean? Yada yada, or just tell them flat out they're wrong in certain shit. You know?
When I react, I try to be as like logical as possible. Yeah, no matter who it is. Yeah, so that's what I try to do. Like
just be as fair as possible. You know what I mean? But just when it comes to how like you kind of deliver it. That's obviously where it can be important, because then some people can either get butthurt or be like, what the fuck, whatever. But it just depends. You know what I mean? It depends who it is. Like, but the majority of people in the Naruto community and anime community, I vibe all of them. I just treat them just as equally. And especially if I like you, it's still going to be mainly just positivity, even if there could be a disagreement, or if I think something could be contentious. I'm just cool about it, and I'll just explain the whys. I'm not going to be a dick over here and be like, oh, TG, fuck you, man. How dare you think, Sasuke's hair is better than ours or some shit, So,
I definitely think, like, that's why I've been trying, like, I do like doing reactions, but I've been trying to make my own content more, too. Like, these and, like, the Minato scaling video and stuff, like.
Yeah.
Like, we're not over here being Six and Steph Geppetto on NC Hammer. You know what I mean? We're not doing that shit.
Oh, no.
Somebody.
That was crazy.
That was mean as fuck.
The way this dude was talking about donations, there was just a disconnect. I'm like, bro, I'm not.
He paid.
Oh, hell no.
I can't sympathize with this dude.
Nah, yeah, no, I can't at all. Like they paid him like the guys paid him like 2 bands to like just rag on fucking MC Hammer. I was like, bruh.
Oh yeah, man.
That was mean as fuck.
Yeah.
My favorite non-animated show is Ozarks. I've heard of that show. Yeah.
Ozark. That's what I'm saying. Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's what makes a fight against the story so unfair, especially without intel. Oh yeah. Is Iron Sand? Yeah. How strong would Shikamaru be if he had Kakazu's masks? I mean, he'd be a problem.
As strong as he is, how strong as the masks are. Like I guess, like you know what I mean?
Yeah. He would just be. Yeah, he'd be more intelligent to Kakazu. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. You guys want to know how strong the fucking mask are? Let's do an objective analysis real quick, okay? So whenever we see these goddamn masks, okay, Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino can react to them, okay?
Yeah.
Then you see him again when he's in Edo, okay, and literally bunch of fodder-ass characters like Ten. She's over here taking them out with a goddamn six-path tool. Now, yes, it's a six-path tool, but either way, she's still fighting them and reacting to them. That's the most important aspect. Then you have, once again, all these other fucking platoon fodder-ass people that are like react. And when I say fodder, I mean in comparison to certain people that are really strong, by the way. I'm not saying they're weak or anything, but you get what I'm saying. But bottom line is, like, it's just really bad. The masks, they really don't have any impressive fucking scaling showings. Like, the only thing that's really impressive is, like, their AP ninjutsu. You know what I mean? Like, Tax on it, because, like, the lightning was able to, like, stalemate Kakashi's 2 fucking Raikuris, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, the AP can be impressive. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the things themselves, like they just don't scale that high. We see them as very weak side characters.
Kakazu doesn't.
You know?
He doesn't scale that high, like empirically. Yeah.
No.
Let's see. What do you?
That's not above pain.
Like if I lose to 10-10, bro, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay.
Yeah. How strong? Which I just read that. Who do you think should get a one-shot manga after Minato? There's a few good guys. Tobirama, Sakumo.
Yeah.
Asura.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sakumo.
Yeah. Sakumo would be awesome, dude.
Tobirama,
Sakumo would be.
If I had to pick Sakumo,
Sakumo would be great. Yeah.
I'm tired of
Prime
waiting.
Heroes in 2 would be awesome.
Yes. Yep. Prime Heroes in. Yep.
TG, who do you think wins, Sakumo or Hanzo?
Yo, I got asked this question the other day too, man. It's interesting. The way I described it was like the problem is, and this is like with both of these, like we just don't know like when Sakumo was compared to the Sonic. That's the thing. Like he just said. Whereas like Hanzo's like we have a bit more definitive, but we also have like adult Sonic like Jiraiya like talking about Hanzo. So it's like I always generally lean towards Hanzo just because Sakumo like you have to make a couple more assumptions with him, but like on the other side of that, like he could also just like on the flip side,
he could.
Like, if Kishimoto came out and made a one shot and said he was stronger than Hanzo, like it wouldn't be inconsistent.
It just says it blatantly.
And I'm gonna be honest, if Kishimoto did write him too, TJ, like I do feel like he would actually have Sakumo stronger than Hanzo. You know what I mean? It'd be that far from the Sonic.
Yeah.
You know, from that one statement we get from Minato. I do think he would do that because when he's always writing Minato and shit, he's doing some crazy shit. When it comes to Kakashi, same thing. So when it comes to Sakumo, I do feel like he would get like a pretty crazy writing, and then we would know for sure. But since we don't have any of that, and just like you said beautifully, it's just a lot of speculation or assumption compared to a guy that blatantly has crystal clear shit. We've seen it and you name it. You know what I mean?
I also think that like the matchup, like they're both like taijutsu, specialists. I would say Hanzo with the scythe, Sakumo.
And then he has his broken summoning. That'd be a problem with Sakumo.
Even if they are relative in speed, I think Hanzo will win just because it's poison hacks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, they're
it's tough, because the empirical evidence is so minuscule for each. Like we know Hanzo spared the 3 Sannin, but they were younger and probably less capable. Minato makes a statement on Sakumo saying that the Sannin pale comparison. In comparing just those 2 pieces of empirical evidence, they both the Sannin seem to pale in comparison to both. To be honest, so it's like
exactly.
It's tough to like try to gauge their caliber in comparison to each other. If you look at their arsenals, Hanzo has like a problematic arsenal. His scythe, his poison.
In character, it seems like he just nukes the battlefield with Ibuse and just like pretty much pulls up on people when they're like paralyzed. Or I know that this is like anime strictly, but at one point like he just body flickers with his salamander, and it's like the craziest thing ever. Like while he's on it, to get away from the Sani. So just like I think it also could be interpreted like Hanzo at full power is him plus the salamander in a similar sense to like the Sannin with their summons. So it kind of depends how you interpret it. But like Jay, you guys like are pretty much preaching. It's just like it's so like minuscule, whereas like Hanzo just has like more showings, but like still not that many. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
And like
and once again, the whole timeline of it all, that's what really would dictate the analysis of what really is and what. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard.
Yeah, and Sakumo, we can't even begin to analyze his arsenal. We never see it. Like, all we know is that the Sonic Go comparison. So like we can give Hanzo the benefit of the doubt, like with what he could do, but we just don't know what Sakumo could do. We don't. So
like, if I had to guess, like, what his shit was, because we always hear like white chakra, right? The white fang or whatever. So like maybe he could like his chakra itself was white for whatever weird reason, like some ultra instinct type bullshit. Okay. And then next thing you know, like he applies that to his weapons or his body, and he could somehow just be like crazy powerful, kind of like what A does with the lightning armor or some shit. I don't know, bro. But like we really just don't have a lot, or it's just him being a genius like Kakashi, you know, and just being.
He came really close in the polls.
So.
Yeah, Sakumo, to even give a claim on his arsenal, it's pure speculation. I mean, there is no.
Yeah.
There is nothing.
There's nothing. We just don't know. Yeah. The only thing we know possibility-wise is that, like, you know, we look at Kakashi, right? You know, obviously Kakashi trained from, like, under his father to a certain amount of time. But, like, you know, maybe from Kakashi, then, like, he's probably obviously really great at taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu, you know, and all that, and bare minimum. And then, like, you know, he's just, like, really smart, you know what I mean? More than likely, too, because that's normally genetically passed down, right?
Yeah.
Normally, not always. Look at Naruto. But, what's it called? But either way, like, you know, that's probably what we know bare minimum. And that's it, you know, and he just probably knew, like, certain really great jutsus and shit. But it was probably just due to his intelligence and, you know, his capacity as a ninja. But other than that, we just have no idea for his main abilities.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate there's nothing on him.
It's crazy to me that Stalker almost won, by the way. Like, that was, like, that was, like, I guess she has a cult fan base, but, like, and Itachi too. I didn't want Itachi to win. He already has.
Yeah, I agree.
We agree completely. Yeah.
That would have pissed me off if Itachi won, bro.
Easily though.
Like, I would have been happy reading it, but like, come on, bro.
Honestly, dude, I think Sakura.
The
Sakura one was so preposterous that it has to be like trolls voting or some shit. This is not possible.
I heard it was the One Piece community too. I'm like, bro, you guys are freaking tough right here.
It's probably like cool, the Bleach community saying, "Fuck this shit. Let's vote for Sakura so that we get an ass one shot." Like, that's probably what it was.
If he won, I wouldn't be that disappointed. It would be a lot better than Itachi and Sakura.
Yeah, definitely. I just honestly think it was trolls, man. There's no way that many people voted. Like, people really wanted Sakura. It's insane, man. To be honest.
People with, like, VPNs and stuff, you know, just voting for Sakura.
Hey, TG, I appreciate that scam, by the way. And once again, that just goes to show that, like when I'm saying, that's a funny thing, like, because you can't really relate because you don't really do reaction videos either. But whenever I'm making reaction videos, I have like some people get like butthurt about certain things or whatever. Or like when I'm saying certain things, because obviously when you're reacting, you're mainly using your memory and what you do know as of now, right? To kind of engage with it, whatever. It's completely different where you're preparing for a video to do a topic on a production video, because then you got to actually do your homework, look over everything this way you can be like as much concise as possible and transparent. But if I was like looking through and like preparing, I would have found that shit. But it's just, that's why you always want to prepare and just like kind of look through everything, because there's just certain things you may not know in Naruto. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's always how it goes. Yeah.
It's me too. When I script, it's like I want to make sure I've touched upon like every piece of empirical evidence I can find. Yeah, like everything. Like, I even try to counter my own arguments. Like, how debunkable and refutable is this claim? Should I use it? Should I refine it? It's like a very cautious process to make sure you don't like slip up or like make a mistake. It's like, honestly, it's kind of like writing like an actual science paper or something. Like, you have to be very concise and thorough, like, to make sure you don't.
Dudes are ruthless. They don't care. It doesn't matter. Nobody has any sympathy in this community.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
You're not on your A game, bro.
It's like, I get it, but at the same time, like, yeah, if you're really gonna come in here commenting like this and be like, almost subscribe, I ain't need you anyway, bro.
Like
really, be honest.
Like the one where I did the ranking the tune exams, I did extreme amounts of research and stuff, and like people were like saying they disagree. I was like, well, you can join my Discord, you can talk about it, but like, you could just never satisfy everybody, you know.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah, it truly is. Even if you have like
Yeah, my favorite 3 words in the comment: agree to disagree. I swear to God, that's
Oh gosh.
The only way you can really please people is if you're playing devil's advocate, or at least like try to make it as contentious as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, or at least have arguments for both characters. Which I'm gonna be honest, the best one that I've seen that does that the most. Okay, Jay does it as well, but the one I see out of any YouTuber I've seen so far that does that the most is TG. I'm being dead ass.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's always like devil's advocate and like kind of talking for both or whatever to kind of make it contentious, whatever, yada yada yada. Everybody else normally just be like, nah, these are all my arguments for why he wins. Therefore, I think he wins. You know what I mean?
Definitive. I've noticed that. You tell them what their favorite character. You tell them definitively someone will lose. It's just and for some reason it's like, bro, your masculinity is not tied to this.
Exactly, bro. It's like, why?
Even Six and Swag was like that in the beginning, but they actually evolved really greatly, and now they're willing to kind of like be willing to admit when things are contentious or play devil's advocate and yada yada. But even when they first started, they just had their set in stone scalings and just provided blah blah why, and that's it. They didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, that was absolute.
Like for instance, like Sasuke versus tuning or Lee in tuning exams. You know what I mean? Like for that shit, they're just like dead on. Like nope, this data book, this. Therefore, in conclusion, Sasuke always wins. Same thing with the whole Neji shit, blah blah. So when it normally comes down to it, like for the most part, everybody's like that. Obviously, certain people will either evolve or get better on certain things, but I got to give you props on that one too. You're always. I appreciate that. So if anything, if anyone is to get like positivity or like, at least in my opinion, it should be you because you're normally trying to please both sides.
I try. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's literally
negative comments. That's where I was going with all this. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'll be in the gym. I'll look at a YouTube comment. I'll delete the app for the rest of the work. I'm like,
dude, I do the same thing in the gym, bro. I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at this
that.
shit.
Like TG makes a video on Nagato versus Itachi. He's trying to do as fair as possible to both.
That was a great video.
And then next thing you know, you're still gonna talk shit. It's not like he's just saying, "Oh, Pain just slams and this and this and this and this." Or I feel like it's just way more sharp. It's like,
you
gave win cons for both sides. I love that.
Like that's crazy that people will still dog you in the comments.
Yeah, we made a video.
Yeah, go ahead.
We made a video also recently on Itachi versus Pain. We tried to be like as thorough as we could, but I already know there's still people like, "How the fuck are you talking about that? You full of shit!" Like I already know that.
So many interpretations on that, dude.
Like Jay, you fucking Itachi stan.
Yeah, I already know it's gonna happen.
We were both helping there, though, man.
It's more so like the arguments that bother me. Like people, like for example, like people saying like Itachi's just gonna run up and like solo bolo a Chubaku Tensei or like certain. It's like shit that's said like that. I'm like, listen, we have to find a middle ground. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, PG. It's like, bro, like, all right, then if that's the case definitively, then like, why does that ever be fucking shown or blah blah yada yada, like So it's just people are just weird, bro. Like they'll be so stuck in characters that they'll just make absolute definitive claims like, oh, it has to be this shit when it's like, just, no, there is contentious value.
Just in this community.
One's a toxic one.
Yeah,
too,
in this community, some people in this community have like their identity embedded in this shit. Like, oh man, there's no way Nagato fucking loses. It's impossible. Like their whole identity depends on it. Like, dude, it doesn't.
That's a horrible mindset for life in general.
I agree.
Like, forget anything. Like that, you take that shit outside this. Like it relates to business. Like everything. There's nothing. So it's like that type of. I don't have any patience for that. And that's why,
I agree.
Like, I'll tell you. Like, I just
Absolutely,
don't.
Because you're being. The reason why, because you're being, for one, ignorant, stubborn, and arrogant. That doesn't get you anywhere in life.
I agree. I agree completely. Like, I enjoy debating, but like if it's like comments like that, like nah, bro, I'm not even gonna. It's not gonna even entertain it. It's
like,
just,
now don't get me wrong. If there is no contentious value, then by all means spit facts and say why character B gets fucking slammed by character A. Prime example. Like fucking heavy Sasuke to Kid Naruto. Like, bro, duh, right? Who's gonna get mad at that? Yeah. If there is contentious value, don't be a fucking baby about it. Simple.
Yeah, it's not that serious. Have you guys heard of Jobbers and Goons? I've seen his channel before.
Oh, I've talked with him. Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with him. I know some people have their issues with it. It's weird, right? Because I'll say this, like, I've talked to a bunch of people. Like, I've been fortunate enough to talk to Six, Swag. Like, I've been reaching out to a couple people as of late. Yeah. But it's the type of thing, like, I'll hear like certain people have certain problems, and it's like I don't know what that has to do with me. Like, don't bring that up to me. We're cool. So he seems fine to me. I'm cool with him.
Yeah, unless it's like some Seth, like extreme hardcore shit, like Seth, the whole that thing, then that's where it's like, but if it's over here like some weird or whatever dumb, because the problem is nowadays everybody's always trying to either paint false narratives or cancel culture tactics, or something could have happened, but but they're not even involving the context where it can just look really bad for somebody. So that's the problem. And if that's what you're mainly saying, TJ, I absolutely understand. It's not fair. Why are you gonna dog somebody when you don't even know whatever, blah, blah, like, and unless you talk to that person and really get down to it, then there you go. And then make your decisions, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like, business, the best way to operate in business, because that's what this is just, like, focus on, like, what you do. Like, yeah, you should have friends and, like, the network, but drama and, like, in this space, it's just not even worth it, man. It's, like, it's a waste of time.
It's not.
It's a waste of time.
Not worth it in life at all.
It's really, really a waste of time, and like obviously, like
we get an example of reality, Jay. Look what happened with Seth, Six, Swag, and all these other people that were connected to that whole fucking family tree, all that bullshit, which was drama oriented, and we saw how it came, and it went to fucking shit.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that, but apparently, Seth was actually like streaming again. Like he literally like started there was like a channel on it, and I had to click on it. I'm like, there's no way. So on it. And then true, and I'm like, wow. And then apparently like he sounded genuine, but I'm like, listen, bro, you gotta prove yourself. You've gone.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time.
I agree. Like the way I look at it, like right now there's no way there's no support from my side, but he has to earn that. Like, dude, one stream where you're happy doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit to me right now, to be honest.
What's sad though is like he's still gonna get a lot of like clout and attention nonetheless, and that's the sad reality. Yeah.
And he's fine. It's not like his career got fucking. That's it.
It's not over.
He's fine. Because people always like over here were exaggerating, like he's done. Like, no, hell no. He has like 800 and something fucking subs. Yeah, like what?
Crazy.
He's still there. He's
a lot of people just don't give a shit about that, because no matter what, I'm gonna be honest with you. With regards to the whole Seth situation, to me, and I'm pretty sure to all of us, it's blatantly clear he was clearly in the wrong and he did some really fucked up and crazy weird ass shit, right? But when you have people in the background, behind the scenes, and they may not even know everything, all the details, or let's say for even to their subjective perception of it, it's not really that big of a deal for whatever bullshit. No matter what, that's not going to be a deterrent. Like, the only way people will leave somebody that is really big is if it's really like concrete, definitively fucked up bad shit. You know what I mean? Then they're just not. They're gone.
Yeah,
they're leaving.
exactly.
All of that stuff that was mainly pertaining to was his conversations with certain people, this and that, or whatever, yada, yada, yada. And his main excuse is like, oh, it's a joke, or whatever, blah, blah, which is stupid. It's not an excuse. But to a lot of people, they don't give a fuck about that, because to a lot of people, humor is subjective, you know what I mean? And et cetera, et cetera. And so no matter what, people are just going to vibe with the guy regardless.
Yeah, it's just a principle. Like, to the vast majority of, like, the population, what he did, the stuff he did was fucked up. I mean, as simple as that. So
I've seen a lot of creators though like do worse. I'm not saying like what he did wasn't bad. I mean, that shit's like sus by nature, right? Don't get me wrong.
That'll be exactly,
But like people do worse things and still get like a million subs chilling on it. I'm like,
it's true.
How is this possible, man? Like, so
it just doesn't matter. Like, it would have to do like something crazy, bro. You know what I mean? Like crazy in order to like go down.
Goku versus the Elden Ring universe. I'm not familiar with Elden Ring, but
I haven't played it yet, man, but it looks badass.
Phenomenal game. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I heard it's like a goated, like all-time great game. I definitely gotta play it. Kakashi.
Well, where would you power scale like someone like Millennia then? TD, like if that's even like possible.
It's oh man, like wait, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I think you cut out for a second.
Where would you power scale like Millennia, for instance?
I did this for a little bit for Elden Ring, but like a lot more scaling came out. Like, for example, like Radon, like the main character of that game, like he pretty much is like mad and frenzied. Like he's like a dog. He's like a corpse eating dog. He has like no cognitive thought. Yeah, he could still hold back like the constellation in the sky and like from stars from like moving into the atmosphere and shit like that. So he's pretty crazy. Like some people like put him at star level because he's able to like do that. At the like he's able to hold meteorites down and stuff like that. And like he's doing all this with like no cognitive presence. Like he can't even form words. He's just like an animal at that point. So
Radon, absolutely. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But I know it goes like above that. I've watched a couple of videos on like the Tarnished and stuff like that, but from what I've heard, I think Dark Souls is still crazier. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. Okay, well then Goku within that, no problem.
Yeah.
I heard Dark Souls is so fucking nuts that it would just like for some people it makes you like rage quits. I've never played it. And eventually I will. But I heard it makes you fucking rage or some shit. I'm like, oh no.
Bloodborne, dude. That game got me so pissed off, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
I like
Bloodborne was.
I know Bloodborne's great, yeah.
But it's worth it, right? Is it like a type of game where the pain is worth it? That type of game?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just the beginning is very like challenging because like you're not well developed, you're not like leveled up enough, and like all your like armor and weapons are just lacking in comparison to what it really could be.
I can't wait to play Dark Souls though. I'm gonna be doing that shit eventually in time, and then when I get to it, Elden Ring. But because right now I'm trying to keep like all the crazy long fucking games that are like 100+ fucking hours, you name it. Trying to keep those dead last and do all the ones that are either reasonable or that I can get done, pretty quick to have more series on and whatnot and let's plays. And then once I'm kind of caught up with all that type of shit, I'll go right into like the long fucking ones because that shit's like stream material. I refuse to make a 30-minute or an hour-long fucking YouTube video for those type of games. It's just too long, bro.
No, it's too much.
It's too much.
Let's see. Yeah, folks, we'll go a little while longer. I think, how long has it been? 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah, we'll go a little longer. Any questions you have, folks, feel free to ask. Thanks for all the donations, by the way. You guys are goated for that as well.
The UFC shit. Is that still going on?
Yeah, the UFC stuff. Yeah, but I only care about like MMA fights. Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, this for combat sports
I didn't
fans,
know if you forgot because I just remembered, so I was looking out for you.
Yeah, combat sports fans. There's some good fights, man. There's Dustin
Poirier
versus Gaethje, Pereira versus Blachowicz. Even boxing for boxing fans. Crawford versus Spence. Yeah, some good stuff, man. But yeah, folks, any questions you may have?
Isn't Jake Paul fighting someone again too, Jay?
Oh, next week he's fighting Nate Diaz. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, who?
Nate Diaz, the retired
UFC guy, right?
Yeah.
Nate Diaz is hilarious to me. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know if Jake Paul's taking that, bro. UFC fight?
If I had to let's quote unquote scale these guys, Nate Diaz is old now.
Okay.
He's not a power puncher. He's a volume guy. He looked really
survived.
Yeah, he looked really old against Tony Ferguson. Like he looked like a shell of himself. I'm not gonna lie. And Jake Paul is a legitimately good boxer for a guy that's only been in the game for like 3 years. Legit power. So I do think Jake probably beats him, to be honest. Unless Nate outlasts him. Yeah. If he can't knock Nate out, then he'll probably lose just from sheer volume. Unless Nate's cardio falls off a cliff, then he'll still lose. But
see those UFC rules though? That'd be
UFC. I mean, Nate would choke him out in like 5 minutes. Yeah,
literally, it's a submission game. You cannot mess with.
Dude. See, that's what I was thinking on that. But either way, like, because I was also thinking like he was still in UFC and doing his shit. So like, I'm like, wait a minute. If we're talking about fucking Jake Paul going in the ring with this man in a UFC fight, fighting him while he's doing his shit, I'm like, he's fucked.
He gets submitted. He gets submitted quick. Yeah, but boxing,
so that's different. So Jake had the chance.
Jake's probably gonna knock him out. I'm gonna be honest.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. He probably will.
What NFL teams do you support? I support the Bills. I'm into football. I don't know if everyone else is, but football.
I support the Niners.
My favorite team, probably the Ravens, because it has Odell Beckham on it as my favorite player. So
I also kind of like the Vikings too. I don't know why, but yeah.
I was a Giants fan for the longest, and then it just became too hard. So,
yeah, Eli leaving, OBJ leaving. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Even like Saquon Barkley even hurt and shit. Yeah, it sucks, man.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
He's getting that bag though right now.
Oh yeah, he's getting a bag now. But yeah, my favorite team used to be the Broncos when Manning was still playing, but he retired. So yeah, that team was great. He won his rings last year. He fell off a cliff though, as far as like skills, because he got old. But yeah, it was cool to see. Let's see. The fourth Hokage is above signing level. 8 Chell's chakra levels. KCM levels of speed. Strength greater than base Tsunade. Overall better stats. In terms of speed, he's certainly above signing level. I'll say that.
Yeah.
As far as overall, I mean, I would like to see how the fourth versus Tsunade would go. I'd like to. He'd be faster, but Tsunade, like, it'd be tough. It'd be interesting to see.
I want to see the third versus Tobirama, bro.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be real cool.
Hey, real quick though, I'm gonna say it again and shout out again to TG though. They
Oh,
been
yeah.
coming along. Though,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Like,
Big shout
This
out.
has been
Yeah,
fucking
appreciate
great.
it,
I don't know
dog,
about
too,
you,
man.
man, but this has been
Yeah,
awesome.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely the chillest guest we've had by far, easily, for sure, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed like a lot of people, and this is like there's no thing, but like a lot of people are just like, I don't know if this is like a communication thing. Maybe I don't want to like say anything because maybe some people have anxiety, but like most people just don't like articulate themselves or like I don't know. I guess they don't just like. People seem timid when they pull up on Discord or shit. Like that. It's really weird. Like even a couple of YouTubers, like I'm like, dude, you can relax, have a laugh, get a drink.
Yeah.
You can make a joke. You don't have to.
You know the sad reality though, TG, and I kind of don't blame him at the same time, and I'm pretty sure you already know this too.
Yeah.
Is because of all the crazy bullshit that happens. Like people are so fucking weird, where they're either recording you behind your back or trying to do some weird ass agenda and paint a false narrative or this or that or yada yada. Like it's just been so crazy lately in the social media scheme of things, and people are always trying to take advantage and fuck people over. You know.
I agree though. Yeah, you're right about that. Thunder guy. There's a lot of people in this community, including creators. Some of them, they're just not good at like a free flowing discussion like that's not scripted and edited. It's like, well, dude, like chill, like relax, bro.
Just
like,
relax. It is relaxed.
Anxiety
Like their ability to articulate is like hampered when it's like in your face, like in real time. It's like, dude, relax.
Yeah,
like, I agree.
Yeah, and it's honestly, I'll say this because like this is something I'm working on. Like, a big thing I want to do is remove filler words from my arsenal. Yeah, I'm really struggling with that. Like, I noticed in all my videos, I'm like, dude, if you say one more fucking time in this recording, I'm gonna explain you like to myself. Like, it's like shit like that. Like, it's certain things, But a lot of people struggle with, or a lot of people just aren't willing to improve. Like, a lot of people get complacent, they just don't want to. Yeah, so
I have the same. Yeah, I've struggled with the same shit. Like the filler words as well. Like I hyperanalyze my videos. I'm like, oh shit, I'm saying fucking and like and shit. I gotta take that out.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No.
Yeah, I'll literally cut it out. I'll go as far as like cutting out every little single filler I use. I'm like, fuck that shit.
Same.
Yeah, that shit is so irritating. And it's just like I feel like the ability to speak and like articulate yourself is sort of like a muscle you can condition. Like the more you do it, the more you improve. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, because it prompts comfortability.
Like,
and once you get that,
my ability, like if I compare myself from like when I first started to now, like my ability to articulate, any creator I think would notice like the difference from just the sheer amount. Yeah, it's like huge jump. Yeah, just from the sheer amount of like articulation you've had to, amount of rhetoric you've had to create over the years. It's like, yeah, dude, it's definitely like a skill, to be honest. So. And talking in free-flowing discussion, like podcasts, that's kind of like a practice thing too,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Really,
Yeah, like some creators are great at scripting and making edited videos, but then you talk to them in person, it's like, bro, relax. Like they're not. It's
a whole different person, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. I swear.
Yeah. And
you're not wrong though, bro.
Yeah, that's why we do podcasts. Like it's just like vibing, That's why we like doing them. It's just
I like that.
Yeah, it's just like vibing with the people.
I don't know if you knew, TG, but we had 6 on. Like what's funny is we had 6 on here multiple times, and not like as a formal special guest or anything. Like 6, so he was just so chill and he was just so relaxed. Like he don't give a damn either. Or he just like I think he messaged Jay. He was like, "Hey, can I join your stream?" Like you all are spitting, and I just want to join in with the chill vibes. We're like, "Hey man, by all means, like come in, brother. Don't give a fuck. We're just having a great time." And
you joined a few times. Basically, we were talking like in our last stream. We want to kind of be like the Joe Rogans of the anime podcast community. We want to bring on like every cool creator we can find. Like you, 6. We want to bring if we could pull Swag, I'll try that. But that's probably gonna be hard because he's so busy. Swag and like everybody. That's what we're trying to do with the podcast stuff. Like kind of set this precedent for like that. Like the podcasts. Podcasts are big in general, but they're not big in like this space. They're not.
In certain unique aspects, and that's what we want to kind of enforce. Because I'll be real with you, unless TG, I don't know about you, but like I don't think there's ever been like at least a Naruto YouTuber or anime YouTuber that really does podcasts with a bunch of people like that have the same passion and love for shit.
So that's what we're trying to. That's what we're trying to do. Like be like the Joe Rogans of this space. I don't think there is one right now. There's none like no figure like that.
And just spread love, you know what I mean? Just spread love, positivity, be like, hey, like kudos to you, keep doing you, brother, and that's it. And just find out more about them, and then that's it. It's simple. So
that's it's basically like our goal. Like have eventually all the goats on, for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, we get some great questions and discussions going because the chat at time.
Yeah,
it's lost in comparison to what content.
I mean, we even do call-in shows with people. Like we let anyone come in sometimes and just like see what happens.
That as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's backfired
Sometimes you
before,
can get some. Sometimes you can get some questionable
characters.
People,
Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's funny too. I'm talking to Six a couple times. He's very cool. I will say it's always interesting because like I talk to him and I'm like, damn, this dude really sound the same. Like he doing.
Yeah, he does.
That's how funny,
Yeah. And it's interesting because we're talking for the first video. He's cool. I busted a couple jokes to like try and get him to laugh because I was like, all right, I wanted to crack the ice.
Yeah.
And then because I kind of got a feel for him. Second time, like he's like it's like a different vibe because people get more comfortable and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know, I know Six is cool. I like.
Yeah, he's really cool for sure. He's been on a couple times. He just asked us just to join, and we want to have him as a formal guest. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Clyde, other guys like Swag, Clyde, other guys out there
it's very intellectual, very chill, super humble.
And that's all we care about, bro. That's all we're really here for. Even Naruto Explain is fucking great.
Yeah, even him would be cool to have on.
I've talked to him many times, and he's just great. Chill.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, that's basically our vision with the pod, just become that kind of figure in this community. I don't think there is one, but yeah, that's what we're trying.
Because let's be real, TG, this anime community, especially Naruto, it's been just so toxic, bro. So extremely competitively toxic, or just blatantly toxic for no goddamn reason.
It's ironic
too. What's the point, bro? We're all human. We're all gonna die one day. You name it. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, bro, I feel sad. You see, my thing is I can't even be mad because I feel sad when people come in and be toxic. I'm like, dude, what's going on in your life that you have to come on and be toxic? So I'm not gonna lie. I actually did. I start feeling sad for dudes. So it's like, I pity you. I don't even I'm not even mad.
In fact, though, bro, it's like, oh, you're just clearly you're there's a word for that shit. Fuck, I can't remember what the word is.
I can't, man. I can't.
Emotionally damaged, bro.
I agree. When guys come at me,
projecting. There you go. Yeah.
Projecting.
I agree. Yeah, when guys come even at me, I'm just like, bro, I'm not gonna waste my time. I already feel sorry.
What did I do to you? You don't know me. Who,
especially when it's unwarranted, bro. It's like I'm not coming at you like that at all. Why are we doing this in the first place?
Literally, bro.
It's just bro, I feel sorry for you. I can only imagine how your real life's like. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna rub it in anymore. I'm not gonna rub it in any more than that, bro.
Hey, I'm getting for this TG and Jay, they don't give a fuck. They don't play. They're like, hey, you want to be an asshole? Bet I'm going to either reciprocate that or buy. I'm not entertaining your bitch ass.
Crazy. Man.
Yeah, debates, now I used to debate and be more more, not toxic when I was younger, but I was more aggressive. Now I just debate to just for the fun of it. Yeah, it's different now.
That's fun, man. Yeah.
Me and Shinobi did one. On Itachi versus
Pain. But that's natural, Jay. That's natural. When you're younger, you're just gradually immature in a sense. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be more emotional and impulsive. So
the ego is ripe with that, man. Yeah, absolutely.
It's bro, don't blame me for puberty. I ain't do nothing to you, bro.
Yeah. Right? Especially when it's a fucking kid. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna go back and forth with a kid.
Well, that's the worst part. Yeah. Teen is trying to grill your shit or talk shit or be like you're a retard.
Dude, it's crazy. I'll hear people talk crazy to me in my streams. I'm like, whatever. But then I'll see them do a reaction video. I'm like, oh, this person's on it. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I wonder what they sound like. And it's every time. It's the high pitched high school. And I'm like, of course it is. Of course it is. You know what I'm saying? It's so obnoxious, but I'm like, of course it is. I don't even know why I'm surprised.
Yeah, it usually is a fucking kid. I'm like, bro.
And we're not dogging anybody that's young. That's not what we're saying here.
No.
We don't care if you guys are young. We love you all. Whatever. Appreciate the support. We're just saying, consistently, whenever it's someone being toxic or unreasonable, 9 out of 10 times it's somebody that's young.
There's a lot of great humble kids in the community who I want to say kids. I'm like,
but to be fair, we're all guilty of that shit. So it is.
Yeah.
I like So I try and
Yeah. In the call-in shows, the only time I'll be for entertainment value, I'll be more aggressive. If it's a grown man, then I won't really hold back.
Nah, you can't.
If you're grown, you better expect some reciprocation.
Yeah,
consequence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's this one guy that came in and he was running his mouth already. I was like, bro, you're out of my shit. You're gonna have to chill.
Oh, remember Weeb? Remember Weeb? He comes in, he's like, hello, son.
Yeah, I was like,
that's crazy. Who are you? Why are you
for real, dude?
Why do you talk like this to me?
And then Jay, he responds, TG, he's like, hello, kid. And then start going from there, bro.
Yeah.
tells Jay to shut the fuck up, bro. Like, come on, dog.
And he was like, Jay, you shut the fuck, whatever. And then Jay's like, this is my college show, bitch. I'll go kick you out.
You know what's crazy? People have no problem with them like that being what's depicted on like of them on the internet too. That's the problem. Like they're okay with that. Like, that's no problem to them. And I'm like, dog, you're not a fucking clown. You're the circus. What you know you're like live, right? This shit is like going on. Like this is the internet's a permanent it's a permanent library. Once
exactly.
Never really gonna be gone. So it's like when dudes do that, I'm like, you're just really screwing yourself over.
Kind of digging your grave already. Like, if you ever want to be a content creator yourself or do any form of entertainment in that industry, you're fucked. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just imagine doing that in the professional world, like acting like that. Like, bro, you get fired and
fucking get caught up. Yeah, 100%.
Like, you go to your boss.
Nowadays, it's so sensitive.
Not even like
so sensitive.
Imagine going to a coworker and be like, "Yeah, you're a retard." They'd be like, "What the fuck? You're fired. Get the fuck out." My office.
Or imagine they see you like let's say it was like an old video or some shit, and they see you like arguing or roasting this person that arguably like or rightfully so deserved it, but your boss sees that shit somehow, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Hey, you gotta go, bro."
yeah. It's like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, dude. It's
like, bro, it's like first off, I was young. Second, I was growing up because he's been an asshole, and third, like, really?
Yeah, it's the community is definitely like has like that dark side for sure.
It's soft. It's soft. I'll say that.
Yeah. But yeah, folks, I think that let me see if there's any other questions before we wrap it up. That's it. I think these guys are just talking to each other.
Oh, there is one thing. Cause I don't know if we asked it. If we did it, then I'm tripping. But what inspired you, TJ? Like, I'm always asked this at any person that ever came to this podcast. What inspired you to, for one, make a YouTube, be a content creator, and why did you pick Naruto specifically as well?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it was Swag and Seth for sure, and it's unfortunate that Seth happened the way it happened. Hopefully it changes, but those two definitely. And it was like a specific video. I remember this because basically it was like the Sasuke versus Madara video, and literally I was having this debate with my friend. Like, sometimes you meet your friends in real life, you're like, "Yo, bro, like, you get into it," and I ended up explaining it to him, and I literally said like a great portion of like what he said in the video, and I was like, "Dog, I could fucking say this then." So I just ended up like making videos. I'm a big fan. So my favorite. I feel that, bro. I feel that. And so I wanted to do that. And then I ended up. They were a big inspiration for me because I like watched them in like early college, all that stuff. But basically, ended up going through there, making content, stuff like that. And it was the type of thing like I knew I was getting into it for the long run. So I just kind of like, I was okay with like, content not being up to par. But the big thing I did is I just always compared myself to them in terms of quality. Yeah. Because that's like when I'm coming in, like it's like a business, right? You're coming into a marketplace to compete. So you have to come in with that same level of quality if you have to be noticed. So that's why I try to come in.
That's a good point. Absolutely.
I try to come in with that, and
it may be unfair, but that's reality.
That's reality. It's we live in a capitalistic market. That's just the way of the world.
Like if you come in here and show like a fucking a horrible ass Kirby, on your screen with like horrible fucking sound and editing this and that and trying to show skin. Let's say your video is just fucking horrendous. Nobody's gonna fucking watch that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
And then,
Yeah, that's funny because ironically, that's how I started too. It was when I first started college, and it was the same people, unfortunately. Well, not Swag, but Seth and Swag were the reason why. And the first video I saw, I think it was it might have been Sasuke versus Jiraiya, and
that was a good one.
I really enjoyed that. I was like, damn, this shit is. I started reacting to it, and then that's when I first started getting traction, like a little bit of traction. I was like, I think I could do this too. I started making my own videos, and I started doing podcasts because I just really like talking in general. And I look at it the same way you do. It's like a business. I always did compare my videos to theirs, like the quality, my script, like how concise I am. Is it too long? Is it too short? Like the intro, how polarizing is my intro? Do I hook the attention of the viewer? Like all that stuff, I would compare to them because they like set the standard, kind of like a business, like a business model. Like they set the standard for the business model in the space. So it was the same thing for me, to be honest. It was just like they set the standard, and I was like, I'm gonna try it out, and just.
It's great reference points.
Spitting facts, brother. Spitting facts, and that's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah. So that's ironic because I had the same come up same time period. I was in college, like my first or second semester of college. All that stuff is like, and it definitely. I think it's gonna help us in the professional world besides YouTube, just with communication skill in general, our ability to articulate is skyrocketed because of it. So even in if we ever make money in other spaces, it's we already have that advantage.
It connects. It's a domino effect.
It definitely helps for sure.
I don't know.
Being
What's it called?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, because like being persuasive in any business is such a tool. Like the ability to like persuade and like polarize an audience in any business will help you like prosper. Like here, obviously, if you're persuasive and like convincing, people will watch. If it's any other business, even like sales or whatever in general, it's like it's a huge skill, dude.
Exactly.
It's a huge asset, man.
It's a
in the entertainment community, it goes a long fucking way. You know what I mean? So
So it definitely, it's definitely interesting how it all connects. Business connects. All businesses connect in that way. But yeah, folks, I think that's gonna wrap it up. I know that we want to keep like Thunder God forever. I know it's been like 3 hours. But yeah, man, huge shout out to Thunder God for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was a great time. He's probably by far the chillest guy we've had on as a guest, and
undoubtedly,
yeah, definitely have to have him on again in the future, and we can set that up. Who knows? Maybe we'll do like.
Hey, I thought of this really quick. Fucking how did the swag video happen? Because I know from everything you just told me, when you were able to link up with swag, I know that was a dream come true. You're like, no fucking shot. Like, I was inspired by them. This is why I started, blah, blah. So I already understand, like, that pure raw emotion. But how did that even come into play? Like, even you getting with swag and then getting a video together.
I could share this. Cool. So, so it ended up, he randomly followed me on Twitter, which I was like.
Oh, damn.
I saw that. I looked at my Swag Kage poster, and I was like, finally. That was all great. So, ended up, I DM'd him real quick. I was like, hey, man, just to let you know, like, I don't know what bullshit you got going on, but if you ever do, like, you inspired my channel, and like I try to spend good, just a nice message. And then randomly I'm editing a video and I look on YouTube and I'm like, is my YouTube glitch? Like, why did I gain like 60 subscribers out of nowhere? Like instantly. I'm like, okay. So and I saw Swag was streaming. I'm like, I'm just curious. Like, are they watching one of my videos, or like someone mentioned my name? So I scroll back a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, let me say something positive. There is somebody I would like to collab with. I don't know if you guys know him. Like, he's like Thunder God." And I'm like, "No way!" That's about boys. I'm like,
crazy. That's no way.
So, I ended up just hitting him back on Twitter. I was like, "Hey man, I'd love to collab." It took a little bit of time because I think he was like going through some shit. He's like, "Yeah, I'd absolutely love to." And then we ended up just busting out like 2 videos, one for my channel, one for his channel. He ended up staying and called me for like 5 hours, just busting it out. So he's also just like a really cool guy, which is, it just goes to show. Like,
and it feels so great, doesn't it, TG? I mean, because you worked your ass off to get there. You're doing your thing, your money, your business. Next thing you know, one of the GOATs acknowledges you or praises you and even like shouts you out, starts following you, and you're like, what? Like, hey, like I'm fucking doing something right, Like
that
that's
affirmation
great.
is so powerful as well. It does wonders for your confidence.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like Eminem, like fucking coming out to another rapper that finally starts off, and the next thing you know, he writes you up. You know what I mean? In the industry, or gasses you up. Like, it makes you feel different.
It's
like that's great.
It's like it's like really an epiphany. Cool. Like, I would listen to this one guy. I forgot his name, but he talks about like how business works. It's like you work. Right, work, nothing happens. Work, nothing happens, and then you work a little more, and then boom, you have like this epiphany. Something explodes, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
Exactly,
man. It paid off. So
and that didn't happen by tomorrow. That didn't happen by tomorrow. Thunder, he had to earn that shit. It took him a while.
It takes a while.
Feels great if it took a day.
It definitely takes a while. Yeah. Like, that's business, though. So some guys have more luck than others. Like they blow up, like Rice Gum in 1 month gets like 1 million subs.
Yeah, because it's the timing, and that's the element of the reality of business. It's like some people are just fucking lucky where they just did something at the right timing, or this is unbearable, and that's why this bam. But when it comes to people like TJ or Jay or whatever, people that literally hustle for that shit, and just earn that blatantly. It's a whole other thing, bro. And once again, I give you props for that. TJ.
Yeah, man.
But I was just curious how that whole
you deserve this, brother.
So.
Yeah, that was definitely well deserved. That was like the epiphany that you earned, basically. That's basically what it was.
And I'm not lying about this. You can check the date and everything. In one of my videos, in my reaction videos, I predicted this shit, and I said this shit, and I said, hey, if anybody was ever, or if anyone was to ever do a video with Swag Kage, and who I think it should be fucking TG. I said that shit in a reaction video of mine. It was an old one too. So there's no way it's cap or any bullshit.
I appreciate that.
And what do you know? And then it happened. And when I kid you not, when I saw the title of that video and it said you and Swag, I was like, no shot. I was like, I fucking knew it.
Yeah. Talent eventually gets recognized, man. It always happens. So it's well deserved for sure, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was really cool.
For sure.
Yeah, you and Swag have definitely a great vibe, dude. It's very informative and just very chill and humble. It's a good thing to revere.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep it up, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
But yeah, folks, I think that's it. Again, we're gonna try to get Thunder on as soon as we can. Again, probably the best guest we've had on this stuff easily. We hope you guys enjoyed. And this was episode 100, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that, man. We'll see you guys next time, and thanks again to Thunder God for being on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right,
Later,
y'all.
guys.